Okay, we should be live. Testing, testing. All right, folks, we have our first tornado warning of the day. We have a little area of rotation that has developed over here north of Macedonia here in Texas. This is just to the west of Houston. Just to the west of Houston. This is a radar indicated tornado warning, which means no indication yet that this is on the ground. Looking at CC, I am not seeing a debris signature on this storm yet, but it is moving up to the north and east. Areas that need to be in their safe spot is Burley, Pine Island, and north of Pattison. All need to be in their safe spots here for this area of rotation. If we zoom in, you can see that we do have some greens touching reds. They're not super elevated, but can't rule out a brief tornado with this little area of spin. We're basically having happen here is we have a little bit of an favorable storm interaction with the storms in the area. You can see we have a kind of a big mess here of precipitation. And if I play this forward, you can see that there's just a lot. We just had this one storm kind of merge into this area, and that has allowed for a little bit of extra lift. And this storm has tapped into this shear environment briefly here. And you can see do still have an area of rotation south of Burley, still moving up to the north and east towards 359. And again, areas that need to be in their safe spots is Burley, Pine Island, and this tornado warning here is located just to the north and west of Houston. There's Houston right over here. Doesn't look like this storm is going to go into Houston, but we've got to watch out for other little storm mergers that can do the same thing out here. I don't think it's going to be too high of a probability given our lapse rates, but every now and then, even when your lapse rates are low, you can get a storm merger, and that helps make the environment just a little bit more favorable. Right now, we have currently around 30 knots of shear around this storm, so that is technically plenty. It can reach into the shear, which it looks like it has here briefly for a tornado. So again, Burley, Pine Island, all need to be in their safe spots as this storm approaches. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Good morning. I guess it is still technically morning. Are you cooked or not? You can't tell. Well, it depends on where you are. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Early start to the day. Yeah, it's going to be kind of like this all day, I believe. I think it's going to be pretty sparse when it comes to, I don't think we're going to have like a whole lot of moments here unless we start to see those lapse rates increase. Our lapse rates right now are still relatively low. Let me just check on our latest mesoscale analysis in this area. Our lapse rates are still hanging under 6 degrees, so we're mainly relying on just every now and then favorable storm interactions, which aren't going to happen too often here, at least early on in this event. The main part of this event is still dependent on those lapse rates getting up into those 6 degree ranges or 6 ranges, and it still remains to be seen. As of right now, they are still very low in this area. And as you can see, a lot of these storms aren't very robust because of that. And a lot of them are actually clustering pretty quickly. So this is actually, if we kind of zoom out here and come over to our composite, you can see our Pacific boundary is back over here. And this is technically a prefrontal cluster of storms. But because of those lower lapse rates, these storms have been pretty messy overall. But this one right here has just got into a little bit of a favorable merger here, as that little area of showers right here south of Sealy has developed and pushed into yet another storm, and that has allowed for it to briefly get strong enough here to tap into some of that full shear profile that we have out in this area. And right over here in between Burley and Peters, that is where our rotation is. And yeah, kind of as I was thinking here, fizzled pretty quickly as that merger has completed, but there is still a little bit of rotation here south of Burley. Still not seeing a correlation coefficient underneath this storm right now. But I would still be in your safe spots just in case. We do have some other storms here to the south that might merge into this storm again, and could see another recycle of that rotation, but it might take a little bit given the environment out here again still isn't super favorable for an actual tornado to form. So we'll keep an eye on it, but it's a tornado warning nonetheless. I would take it seriously, and just get in your safe spots. And that's the lowest portion of your house, as many walls in between you and the outside as humanly possible, a tornado shelter, or a basement that is underground. Yeah, get our calming tunes on. You're out in Carthage running a route for FedEx. Probably won't be done until after Sunday. Probably keep this live up to make sure I don't run into much trouble. Yeah, we'll keep you safe. We'll keep you safe for sure. And, you know, we don't really go too crazy. We just kind of stay on the facts here. Really, you know, if a storm looks dangerous, we're going to tell you. You know, if it's looking, you know, like it's falling apart, we'll immediately tell you. We'll tell you the environment that is around these storms so you can kind of understand it a little bit better. And yeah, we have a couple of tools here that can make things easier to understand. If I can get them up. Okay. That little oversteer is about 30 knots. A little bit directional. I'm just getting something up here really quick. We'll go right back in it. Had to rush to get this live stream going. Not sized properly. All right, I'll work on that later. Go check to see if we have a new update here on our radar. We do not. Still have an area of some weaker circulation now south of Burley. Still moving up towards, probably going to go just north. Okay, there's our latest velocity scan right there. Yeah, it looks like our rotation is continuing to weaken quite quickly here south of Burley. It looks like that was just one of those. It looks like it interacted with that storm. That allowed the storm to reach up into that shear environment for about a couple of minutes. And then we're starting to see it fall apart as it starts to settle back into the background atmospheric environment, which again, isn't really that favorable for tornadoes at the moment. That, and then I need to click on this. Okay. Move this under here. And then I will do this. And it's a little bit better. I just want to have this in the background as we get new updates coming in. Okay. There we go. We'll just have that up and ready to go. You're watching the tornado warning. It's not that... watching the tornado warning, it is not that much. However, if anybody's in the tornado warning, should take cover. Yes, should absolutely take cover. I definitely agree with that. Just stay there until the tornado warning is over with. That's the best safe practice, because you never know. We could get another merger and see this rotation speed back up again. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what's going on, given our storm mode is just so messy right now. With these storms, and that's typically what we see when we have the type of environment that we have right now. HRRR has been inconsistent with the storm mode plays all day. Yeah, you know, and that's mainly because of you know, we're struggling. Bring this back up again. That. And then it would be this one. Yeah, right now we're struggling to figure out what these lapse rates are going to do. I want to make this a little bit further up here. And so lapse rates are essentially, the gradient between the cooler and the warmer temperatures up above. And here, you see greens, not super cool, kind of weak lapse rates. You get the water vapor has trouble rising. And that's kind of where we're at right now. Our water vapors having trouble rising into the upper atmosphere, which is where we are, where all of our shear is. And so right now it's not super favorable, but once that gets a little bit colder up there and we start to get into those 6-degree lapse rates, you can see our water molecules are going to start to rise into the air a little bit faster. Our updrafts will be a little bit more robust, and that will allow our storm to tap into that shear environment a little bit better. So that's kind of what we're waiting on right now, is to see if those lapse rates are going to get up there. If that does happen, I mean, we could have even potentially a tornado outbreak. But again, it all stipulates on that. A lot of our models haven't really been super bullish on that happening today. So, and in fact, we've had a little bit of a downtrend the last time, well, I mentioned in the video this morning, we've had a little bit of a downtrend in our lapse rates as well. And they are super important. I mean, you need to have robust updrafts to have a storm become tall enough to reach into that shear environment. So like, when you have that directional shear, let me move this over to here. These winds are moving more out like this, and our lower level winds are moving like this, right? And so, our shear is up in the, up middle, lower, and upper portions of the atmosphere. And, it needs to be able to tap into that whole shear profile, and our wind shear also isn't super favorable today. If we had directional shear like this, we would definitely be seeing a little bit more spin in our storm. But as of right now, our wind shear is more directional. And so you can see that definitely lowers the spin. This is a simulated updraft right here. And so it's not a super favorable shear profile. It's not. Our lapse rates, again, are, a little bit on the lower side, and our parcels are struggling to rise. Our air molecules are not rising as effectively as they could, as if it was, in the 6s. So that's what we're watching for right now. And one of the things that we are keeping an eye on is, if we come over to here, gonna make sure this is ready to go. Yeah, here's our lapse rates right now, and you can see, we're still got those blue lines out there, and that is indicating that we have lapse rates under 5. Further up to the north, there isn't any. Their lapse rates are below 5, which is super unfavorable. Mainly going to be a rain threat here, at least initially, and then eventually we could see that improve. There could be a little corridor of 6.5 lapse rates develop out in front of our storm, but that is not near our storms. So it's still a huge question mark on whether or not we're actually going to get there today. This threat is kind of on a knife's edge, if you ask me. All right, latest scan just came in for our tornado warning, and as you can see, still not very strong rotation in our storm. Actually, very weak rotation. Still kind of not looking healthy at all. And looks like it's about to, I wouldn't be surprised if they allowed this tornado warning to expire within the next couple of minutes if we don't see that rotation come back up. What's that new tool? I coded. I don't like AI for really anything other than educational purposes, and I used Gemini to make that. So I actually didn't do anything, but it's really cool. If you guys like it enough and you find it super helpful and you want to mess around with it, I might make a website and throw it on there for free so you guys can just look at it. I won't put a paywall or anything on there. Yeah, AI sucks for 99%, but for educational purposes, and also for what is it called? And for research, it's actually going to be super helpful. It taking everybody's job, absolutely not. They did update the day 2 tornado risk, did they really? Let me check that out. Oh yeah, they did. So looks like we did get an update on our day 2 tornado risk. We now officially have a 5% tornado risk down here in parts of Mississippi and Alabama. So if you guys live out in this area, there is a little bit more of a tornado risk here. We're gonna have a lot more or a lot less directional shear than we even have today here. So it's not gonna be super prevalent, but we're still monitoring. I do believe, you know, it's gonna be kind of like today where we're gonna have to monitor how the storms go today. And then as they go into tomorrow, especially tomorrow morning, we should have a better understanding of where our parameters are. AI shouldn't be used for weather. It's actually doing really good. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the new Google AI model is pushing the science further and further. I mean, if we can get an AI model that predicts a tornado 5 days in advance, exact location, and we can actually evacuate cities, that's only good. So, and thank you, Dragon, for the $5. Thank you so much. Not for models, but for warnings. I mean, it could become effective at that. I don't know where that science is right now, but I mean, if it can read radar better than humans, you know, that could be helpful. But I mean, reading radar is not that hard, and I don't really think we need AI to push that forward. I think that's where the line should be. If a human can do it really good, then you probably shouldn't replace that with AI. But for things like weather models and medical research and all that kind of things, AI could actually, you know, be revolutionary. But, you know, putting it in the workplace, replacing everybody's jobs, I don't really think that's going to end up as good as people think it is. Are these the main storms? Technically, you could make the argument that in a setup like this, you know, if we had better lapse rates, these could have been the beginning of the main event. But because our lapse rates are so low in this area, these are prefrontal storms. This is kind of what you look for when you're looking for, you know, tornadic storms or storms that could last for a while. But you see how clustered they are, how messy they are. That's because their updrafts are so weak, because our lapse rates are so low. Pretty accurate this spring too. Yeah. I mean, if it pushes the science forward, I'm all for it. I am extremely uncomfortable, you know, with general purpose AI that's just going to replace all humans. I don't like the sound of that. I don't think people are going to really enjoy this advertised utopia that, you know, nobody has a job. You know, are they really going to pay us? Will the government really look out for us when they haven't for decades? I don't think so. I think we're going to have really rich people and really poor people. And most people are going to be really poor. All right. Latest here. Very, very diffuse rotation here. I think our tornado warning is about to leave the building here. Tornado watch has been issued. All right, let me see. Let me make sure that my audio is up on my warning thing. Okay, it should be. Okay. Tornado watch. Yeah, there it is. It's showing up now. Yeah, we have a tornado watch out here for Sugarland. Looks like parts of Houston are in this as well, or maybe all of Houston. Let me get up the graphic here too. We'll just look at the graphic. I think the graphic will be a little bit more easier to read for everybody. Yeah, here is our tornado watch. A few tornadoes are likely, scattered hail up to 2-inch size possible, scattered gusts of up to 70 miles per hour is possible. Population inside of this tornado warning is 7 million. There's 1,978 schools and 150 hospitals. College Station, Brenham, Conroe, Houston, Silsbee, Jasper, Lufkin, Nacogdoches, and Palestine, and also parts of Louisiana. are in this. Is it Nakatosh? Is this the Nakatosh one? I always forget which one's Nakatosh. I have no idea how to say that one, to be honest. But yeah, you know, all of these, again, in this area, listen, we even sometimes get a 10% hatched risk with this kind of very similar environment. And that usually, and we've seen it not go as planned many times in the past due to struggling lapse rates in this area. And these kind of setups typically happen at this time of year. So, you know, just keep that in mind that today might underperform quite significantly in accordance to expectations. And there goes our tornado warning. It has been allowed to expire. You have a friend in Monaville says lightning and thundering quite active. Okay. You're in Shreveport, not in the watch, but considering it's right next to me, I'm gonna consider myself in it and be prepared. Yeah, just be prepared. Just keep your eye on it. You know, the good news about all this rain here is that should keep lapse rates and instability a little bit more moderated. This could be helpful if the lapse rates just never rise while these storms are developing. So, you know, but we've got to keep an eye on them. They're, as we just saw, little mergers in just the right way can cause rotation. It didn't produce a tornado as far as I've seen on radar. Didn't see a debris signature. So although we got a tornado warning, no confirmation of a tornado just yet. And you know, we might not get one today. We'll see. You know, we're still going to have the warm frontal boundary that could have some favorable interactions as well. So, you know, really kind of tough environment to try to pin down exactly what's going to happen. But right now, at least, it's not looking super favorable. For 10% hatch, you need to see the lapse rates rise a bit. I mean, they issue them all the time when lapse rates are forecasted to be below 6. So maybe they've learned from that in the past. I don't know. But it does have a significant impact, especially in areas down here in the southeast. Time after time, it has happened where we get these, you know, strong tornado risks, and then they don't end up performing as they could have because of those lapse rates being so low. And it really is an important part of tornado genesis, and I don't know why it's not mentioned more. Tornado watch in Lufkin. Yeah, Lufkin's over here. You guys are in a tornado watch. We can go over our latest model runs here. So this is the HRRR, and you can see it's capturing these prefrontal showers. I will say not too much of a storm. None of them are really severe right now. So mainly prefrontal showers. And then, yeah, for like Lufkin, got to watch to see if we can get some favorable mergers with this. By the time we get into around 6 p.m., that line should be moving pretty close between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. to Lufkin. You see Tyler, Texas is going to have some storms develop near you guys. You know, where that instability, where our lapse rates are going to be at this point is super important. Would be weather aware, though. You are in that tornado watch. And then as we go into into tonight, by like around 9 p.m., we're going to have a line of thunderstorms, most likely. Not a whole lot of prefrontal activity, maybe a storm over here near Monroe. But again, our lapse rates are supposed to tank overnight. Again, still could get some favorable mergers, and you could still see some spin-ups try to happen, or maybe a weaker tornado happen in this environment. But there's going to be instability. There's going to be ingredients there for severe weather as this moves into Louisiana. But, you know, in the short term, the main tornado threat that this tornado watch is for these prefrontal showers that we just had a tornado warning on right now. But none of these are organized. No, these are really not organized storms right now. We just had a little bit of an atmospheric accident with this storm caused it to start to rotate a little bit. No, we're not going to be hyper focused. I see a lot of you guys in chat talking about the sub count. As you have noticed that we are close to 100,000 subscribers, but we've actually already passed it. But if I don't post, like if there's no active weather and I'm not, you know, posting videos, then, you know, the sub count slowly goes over or down over time. And we have gone back under 100K. So we've already reached it. Um, so yeah, we're not, that's not going to re-celebrate that again. It's really not important in the context of what's happening here. Who knows if it'll become a line though? Yeah, I mean, we definitely have a boundary here, so we will likely get a line of storms back in this region. There's a decent amount of forcing in this area. You know, with the change of temperatures, you know, from the front of it to the back of it, the drier air behind it as well, allowing for some thunderstorms to fire along the leading edge. I think it's a pretty foregone conclusion that we are going to see a line of storms develop back here. You know, the main question is whether or not these prefrontal storms can eventually organize. Not enough buzzwords like here it comes, this is huge. Yeah, I don't do those unless it's warranted. And none of these storms or winter storms, or, you know, we don't have any consensus on the models in the future, so there's no reason to talk about, you know, snow or even cold sometimes, you know, over a week out. And that's what everybody online has been obsessed with. I'm just not going to participate in that, and I know that's going to hurt my channel, but I honestly don't care. I would rather sleep good at night knowing that I'm sticking to the facts and waiting for accuracy to develop than make a forecast, getting tens of thousands of views, saying that, you know, big snow is coming in December when we just don't know. The models will change, they'll flip flop. You know, December could be warmer than average for a lot of folks. You know, last year there was like a storm in close to Valentine's Day. Everybody was overhyping like Chicago was going to get, you know, a foot or two of snow. And what ended up happening was Chicago had one of its least snowiest snow seasons in 88 years. And so that's why you don't look at models that far out. It's completely pointless. It's so pointless. And, you know, people, they say, oh, speculation is fun. Sure, whatever. If that's what you're into, you know, thinking about a future that won't happen, then, you know, go for it. But for me personally, I've never been into that. I think it's completely pointless to speculate. I like to stick more to logic. I do speculate a little bit here and there, but I usually just stay in the middle, and just, you know, balance out what we know with what we don't, and then try to, you know, wait until the signals become more accurate. And, you know, so, you know, if there's actually a big storm coming, you'll see me start posting videos again. And if not, you know, then I'll get off. You know, I won't be posting, you know, so I can, what I want to develop this channel into is to kind of be a barometer for you guys. Is there going to be a lot of bull crap? It's literally 10 times worse than it was last year. The clickbait, the bull crap titles, all that stuff to get you to click, and then you click on the video and they're just like, yeah, you know, normal weather is coming. And so if you want an actual barometer on whether, you know, if we actually have a huge storm coming or a massive pattern flip or something out of the ordinary or something strange, you know, if it actually becomes into the range of accuracy and it's still looking like a huge storm or something that could be very impactful, I'll start posting videos again. But I want to be that barometer. I feel like we're going to need it more and more as we go into the future, because I've noticed every single year the clickbait BS and people, you know, spewing misinformation is multiplying year by year by year by year. It's getting way worse. It's getting way worse. We didn't know if the weather's going to do a backflip. Absolutely. I'll let you know if that happens. This has never happened before. Yeah. People would use that title for like daily temperatures changing, which is BS. You know, I feel like when people hear like this has never happened before, they're not thinking it's never happened before on this day. They're thinking this has never happened before, period. You know, breaking daily temperatures isn't that big of a deal because you likely have daily records lower than that, earlier than that, but it just didn't happen on that specific day. Is the storms getting the ingredients to be more tornadic? We're monitoring them right now. As of right now, I'll check to see if we have a new mesoscale. We're waiting on our new mesoscale update. But yeah, as of right now, You could make the argument that it's slowly getting better, but again, we're still sitting at those 5-degree lapse rates. I mean, you have plenty of shear. The environment is technically there if we get just the right merger, like what we just saw with this tornado warning, which, by the way, has been expired for 9 minutes, but weather-wise keeps it up until it like officially expires. But yeah, I mean, the environment is a little iffy right now. Not gonna lie, it's not very supportive, if supportive at all, for tornadoes. But you can get little mergers, and so that's what we're probably going to be watching for most of the day, unless those lapse rates get above 6. So I would say no, the environment is not very tornadic right now. Then again, the weather will get worse at the last day's approach. It's possible. It's always possible. You know, again, rule of thumb, for severe weather, you can get signals, especially ensembles, like 5 days out. That can be pretty reliable, but you still are going to get a decent amount of changes. With snow, 5 days out can still be la la land. You can see shifts of 100 miles with the snow band and where it's going to land. You know, you typically want to wait in the 3-day range. You know, forecasting snow a month out is impossible. Showing snow maps a month out is meteorological malpractice. It's a straight up lie, and they know it is, but then they act like, oh, it's a signal, it's maybe gonna happen, and oh, you know, if things go exactly like this, like the model that far out is not gonna be right. So it's not a signal at all. It's like me telling you a month in the future you might get cancer. Technically, I'm telling you the truth, right? But it's a completely pointless statement, because no one knows. You can get it tomorrow. You can get it next month. You can get it 10 years from now. It's not helping anybody by saying that. How are the tornado watch probabilities so high? Tornado watch has already been issued. Help. Oh, you mean like for the tornado chances? Let me see. 60%. Yeah, I mean, favorable mergers. It's certainly possible if you get a favorable merger early on. Throughout the day, we're really not going to see like where our instability is. We're really only going to see our shear stick around 30 to 35 knots until we get like later into Louisiana. But it still remains to be seen how our environment will evolve as it goes into Louisiana. If you look at the models right now, they could be a little bit off. They've been off, at least on the precipitation amount and the amount of lapse rates that we were expecting by this point, by a little bit here. So definitely got to pull back our expectations a little bit. I don't know. I don't think people think about lower lapse rates being that important of a thing in storm development. But I mean, we've seen it time and time again here in the Southeast. When those low lapse rates are too low, the storms underperform usually, unless you get a crap ton of favorable mergers, which doesn't really, it's hard to get a favorable merger. So I do still think we'll get tornado warning. Like it'll be like spaced out by a little bit. And, you know, especially along our warm front. Where is our warm front right now? Let me check where that is. We can click on, yeah, our warm front is like kind of like in this area here. So, you know, a storm passes over the warm front, could increase its tornado probabilities. If it can stay latched onto it, if it passes over it quickly, it'll get a little bit more rotation. We'll do this really quick. So warm front, so like say your directional shear is, you know, pretty parallel. A warm front can briefly turn those winds to be backed into the storm a little bit more, increasing the chances for rotation. It also increases the lower level shear a bit too. So you definitely get a lot more spin when a warm front goes through a storm. And so we do also have to watch out for that potential as well today. There's a lot of hot air in Texas. Yeah, let's look at the satellite really quick. See what's happening out here. Yeah, there's still a lot of cloud cover You can see these storms out over that are firing near College Station and Brenham. They're also, you know, pushing out a bunch of upper level clouds off to the east, increasing the cloud cover even more in this general area, which will block out the sun a little bit and kind of keep those instability values a little bit lower potentially, and also our lapse rates. Super muggy today, yeah. Wind is just starting to pick up on Katy. Where's Katy, Texas? Is it Katy or Katy? Yeah, you guys do have storms nearby you. None of them are severe right now, but definitely some heavier rain and some lightning is incoming here. From another broad area of circulation. Let me check it out. Yeah, it's trying to do something there a little bit. There's a little area of rotation there. It's actually not the same storm. It's actually another merger. Let's see if we can see it here. Yeah, like another merger came out from this area. Might be helping it out a little bit, but I mean, it's not a very pronounced merger. So I'm wondering how long this last for. It's a very weak area of circulation has developed here south of Pine Island. Something to keep an eye on, though. You're near the Woodlands in Conroe, Texas. Sorry, got distracted. ADHD person here. Sorry. The Woodlands, the clouds look mean. Just want to know the risk. Yeah, let me see where Woodlands. I think Woodlands is, yeah, Conroe. Woodlands is over here. Yeah, we do have storms. This one over here near Prairie View has developed a couple of areas of circulation so far. And it's still trying to do something, but it's still very disorganized. Very weak area of circulation still with there, but still worth watching. But yeah, mainly rain threat right now is what we're talking about. Rain, heavy rain, maybe some small hail, lots of lightning. These storms are not severe warned, so not all heck's gonna break loose with these guys just yet. So, you know, we're not super concerned about those storms, at least at this moment. It's definitely something that we are keeping an eye on, as these threats tend to develop as they want to, especially when you have your lapse rates this low. Want to see if any of our storm chasers are live in the area. It looks like Pagey Tornado is going to be live in an hour. Let me get her up. And then is Storm Runner Media chasing today? I feel like this would be like an event they would go chase. They don't have anything scheduled, it seems. Just got a power surge. Interesting. Houston, yeah, I mean, you need to watch these storms really in particular here. The warm front's north of you, so even if like you do end up getting a line of storms here eventually, I don't think it's going to be much of a tornado threat. But with these guys out here, this is the ones we are watching for you. We're just it's pretty messy, so we're going to get these weird storm interactions inside of these storms. And that could try to develop a weak spin up out of one of these guys. So that's what we're keeping an eye on right now. You guys are in a tornado watch, so I'd be watching it. Just keep an eye on it. Shouldn't be, I think these storms are moving. Yeah, they're moving to the north and east. This one right here might go to the north of Houston, actually. We might have to wait for something else to develop. Or maybe it might go into like northern Houston. Do a composite view here really quick. DMs. Let me check them out. Virgin signature looking better near Waller, Texas. Where's Waller, Texas? Yeah, a little bit better. Broad circulation now with our storm just to the south and west of Waller, Texas. Very broad circulation, but it does seem like our greens are getting a little bit stronger here. Looks like we might be getting another favorable storm interaction here. If that tightens up anymore, they'll probably throw a tornado warning on this storm, and that will be approaching areas like Waller, Stagecoach, and Magnolia. Why are our names so weird? I don't know. They are weird, aren't they? I have no idea what's causing that. And check Hooks, Texas. My dad's got to go to work there today. Sure. Hooks, Texas might be too far to the north here. And yeah, you guys are already getting a decent amount of rain up here as well. So severe weather chances are probably going to be pretty low up there. Most of the worst stuff should stay to your south. He's good then? Yeah, I wouldn't worry about him too much, yeah. There's a 6 lower level lapse rates on the HRRR. There is a little bit that develops, but it's out in front of where our storms currently are. These ones at least. If we get maybe some more storms form out in front of this, about 4 hours from now, then those would technically be in better lapse rates. But these storms back over here should keep the lapse rates at least around it pretty low throughout the day. So these ones, although will have a small tornadic potential, won't be as elevated as, you know, what it would be if it had those higher lapse rates for sure. Any concerns for those in College Station? Not right now. There is going to be a line of storms that eventually progresses here to the east, and that could have some severe capabilities, but that north front is to your north. Sorry, that warm front is to your north, which is where we're going to see a little bit more spin along the frontal boundary here. Anything further to the south, I'm not really overly concerned about. You could still get some like damaging winds though. Why does this look all weird? Oh, I got to turn this off. There we go. Should you head to the woodlands? Look like it could get ugly here. I would say the woodlands are closer to getting. Wait, what did you say? Should I head to the woodlands? Yeah, the woodlands seems to be a little bit more directly in the path than like Houston, to be honest. Seems like this storm might go north of Houston, unless it takes more of an easterly turn. Yeah, this is weird. I don't really recognize as many people in chat. Because of this, like, what's up with the screen names? Why are they all weird? Yeah, latest scan here. Looks like our rotation is fizzling there, so it never really got to that point just yet. I do want to change this. I've been meaning to change this for a while, but I keep procrastinating. YouTube changed all YouTube names to our YouTube handles. Well, I guess you guys are gonna have to try to change your YouTube handles back to your original YouTube name, I guess, to make it. That kind of sucks. YouTube being YouTube, it is. It's to combat the bots. How does it combat bots? Also, maybe a little bit of weak circulation over here north and east of Millican as well. And then maybe a little bit of rotation trying to develop with this cluster of storms down there. But again, all very weak rotations. Problem is no mergers. There's really not too many mergers out there. I mean, there's a lot of little mergers going into these storms, and I think that's what's causing these little areas of rotation to develop. But The last time we actually saw some robust rotation develop was when we had an actual sizable merger go into the storm. Which again, mergers are basically just storms eating storms. Is Conroe okay? I would definitely keep an eye on this storm. Again, we could get a brief tornado out of this guy. This one might try to sneak off to the north of Conroe, but it's going to be a close approach. So it's either going to go just north or just over Conroe. I'm just keeping an eye on it. I guess YouTube is trying to get the handle, maybe and ban something. I guess. I mean, if it's an effective way to get rid of the bots, then I guess that's just good for everybody. Get some Uber Eats really quick. Didn't have time to make lunch. Get a burrito. Hopefully. Maybe not. I don't know. Let me get street tacos then. And then a little thing of queso. Uno momentos. What is queso fresco? Is that just regular cheese dip? Cheese dip. Okay. Six lapse rates starting to pop up on Mezzo. You're right. We do have a little pocket of let me get my pencil thing up. Got a little pocket of why is it that doing that? Let me try to do something here. Move this to taskbar. What if I click on it over here? Huh, it only goes to my main screen. That's annoying. Alrighty then. But yeah, sorry, I was looking for a pen tool. But yeah, but there is a little area of 6 lapse rates all the way down here, which was forecasted. We're supposed to get an area, a little small area out in front of our storms over the next 2 hours. It seemed like our forecast might be calling for a little bit higher lapse rates, but still just outpacing our storms. Maybe a small overlap there, just north and west of Houston. But I feel like our storms are pretty much already there. And that'd be 2 hours in the future. I think they're going to be moving further to the east. Yeah, we'll see. A little bit of a change in the forecast. Small overlap there, and then by 4 hours from now, the lapse rates are supposed to collapse again. Will these storms miss Conroe to the west a little bit? It's going to be a close call. It could just barely miss Conroe to the west, or it will just barely get right over you. Really just depends. And look at all this rain in Louisiana too. I didn't even see that before. This will definitely any rain that we have out in front of these storms, it seems like our only favorable pocket right now is with these storms. This might make things a little bit less favorable in the future if these showers continue throughout the day. Hello, hello, welcome. Raining its tail off here in Pattison, Texas. Pattison, Texas. Oh yeah. Yep. Had quite a big rain blob coming in. Thankfully not severe, but definitely going to drop a lot of rain. Do be watching out for the potential for some flooding. That is also a possibility today. Oh wow, this is from one of the Texas webcams. They're like picture cameras, and there was what appears to be a little wall cloud on that one storm that was tornado warned earlier. Yeah, I don't expect these rotations to really be able to break through here. We'll see. I mean, without a merger, it's going to be hard for that to happen. We still have a weak circulation here, south and east of Prairie View. Another one to the north and west of Wallace. And that little weak rotation near College Station is falling apart. Yeah, it's still pretty weak. Let me go ahead and get Pagey Tornado set up over here really quick. I do want to full screen this. Oops. There we go. Like she is going live in 37 minutes. Here at Wallace. Yeah, it does have mergers from its south. They're all pretty small mergers, but they are adding up, it looks like. A little area of broad circulation is developing here. And then our latest scan on this storm might be getting a little bit tighter there with that circulation. It's still pretty weak in terms of rotation. Let's go check out this radar's view. Yeah, you can see from our terminal radar, not as strong as rotation as indicated on it as it is from our other radar, which is a little bit further away near Texas City. So we're looking a little bit higher up into the storm with this radar here. Can we see that other rotation? Gonna lurk for a while. Sounds good. Using the WeatherWise app. All right. How bad are these storms? Not too bad. I mean, just heavy rain right now. Heavy rain, a couple of areas of rotation. Can't rule out a brief tornado with these guys here initially. Mainly due to mergers, as our lapse rates are kind of too low for these storms to kind of do that by itself. We need the rain. We don't need the tornadoes. Feel that. I feel that. Trying to think. check my cameras here. We do have some cameras out over here. Can we see anything? Oh yeah, look at this. So we have one of our storms coming into view here. Yeah, we can't use Brad Arnold, Redbird. Oh, cool. You do have the Louisiana cameras up. That's awesome. Yeah, you need to get those Florida cams and the Mississippi cameras up. If you could do that by tomorrow. Not sure how plausible that is. I know it must be hard. There's this camera. There's also this camera. Who is this? Jaden Brandon. Might get a view of a storm here in just a little bit. Oh, wow. Look at that lightning. What website is this? This is a program that was coded by Redbird, who's in chat right now. And I got no help. Good job. This is not the Pettis weather cam thing, no. I think Pettis's weather cam program has like 10 times more cameras than this. I wish I had access to it, low key. But we got Redbird. Redbird, I believe in Redbird. I believe he's going to make this just as good. Mezzo does seem displaced. Which one? We've got this one up here. Broad circulation. That one's in the right area. This one back here is also broad and strengthening a little bit. Looks like this one's getting quite the merger here. Yeah, we have a little storm developing just to the that has merged or is in the process of merging into our storm. So this one's probably going to become our next one that's going to try to get that rotation going again. Let me do something really cool. Let me move Pagey. Oh, I didn't know I had this here too. Never mind. We'll just go to here. Where is Pagey? The heck is Pagey? Is she in the area? No idea. I'm sure she's somewhere out here. I guess she's just not active. There's Brian, Eric Fox. Huh. She might not be active on the app yet. There we go. They upgraded tomorrow. Yeah, they upgraded tomorrow to a slight risk with a 5% tornado, mainly in central Alabama. You live in Houston. Don't fret. I do think that this storm that will develop is going to go north of Houston. We're talking trajectory more towards like Stagecoach and Cypress. I think for a storm to actually go through Houston itself, we would need to see more development down to the south. Yeah, latest scan on this, still mainly some broad circulation, maybe some tighter circulation back over here. No debris signature. And still not seeing correlation, or not seeing like a concerning area of rotation. Relatively weak, tighter circulation back over here, but we're still watching it. Again, this storm is getting a merger, and that is allowing it, even in this kind of crappy environment, to tap into that shear environment. We actually saw this cluster of storms do the same thing earlier. So got to keep an eye on this. We could eventually get a tornado warning with that one. In the hail core, it is in the hail core. That is correct. So some of these values might be a little bit over exaggerated, but I don't think this is I don't think this is too big of a hail core. We're not really seeing much of a CC drop on this. Let me check the VIL on it. Check the VIL. Yeah, we're not really talking about too much hail into this storm right now. So it's not even severe, probably not quarter-sized hail inside of this. So I don't think that's contaminating the radar too much. I think a lot of these purples are just very heavy rain right now. Terminal radar is right there. It is. Yep. Yeah, you can see there is some velocities on these guys, just not very strong on the terminal radar. So we're getting kind of the same picture from each. Is there going to be hail? Yeah, the hail should really get started. Like we probably have some pretty small hail inside of these storms right now, but we're not going to get that bigger hail until we see those lapse rates increase. That is one thing that'll be very hard for these storms. We might get brief instances where these storms become severe if they get big mergers. Are the storms supposed to be firing behind this main line? Yeah. Or no, not like behind this line. Or like behind, I would say, this area. We shouldn't get storms back here is what I'm saying. Shouldn't see storms there, but along the line here, we can see storms fire along it and behind it. And that'll be more of a damaging wind threat back there. Our frontal boundary, our warm frontal boundary, gotta watch like storms that form like back over here near Mexia. If they can tap into some of that instability before these storms back over here sap it up. We could see a warm frontal interaction with this line of storms and maybe see like a brief tornado out of it, but that most likely won't be a strong tornado potential there. Our strongest tornado potential for today is going to be existing with these storms. They are struggling right now due to our thermodynamics being a little bit iffy. And this is what it looks like out there. You can actually see an updraft on the left side of the screen. One of the storms off in the distance. Definitely pretty rainy. It's possible in Houston, but we're gonna have to see a storm, I think, fire a little bit further south for like the central portion of Houston. But like areas like the Woodlands, Kingwood, you know, I would say have at least a higher short-term tornado threat than Houston right now. You have some storms near Lake Charles. I want to see what it looks like out over here. It's pretty sunny. Wow. And those clouds are starting to break near the Lake Charles area, which will help with thermodynamics. But it doesn't seem like it's a big break in the clouds, like little periodic little breaks there. Maybe this camera's not working there. I thank you, Oof Mads, for becoming a Wimdy member. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Anything in College Station? Not right now. Your next little wave is going to be coming soon. And it'll likely be damaging winds if these storms can mature before they get into College Station. Can I go to Dallas? Sure. Yeah, over here near Dallas, things are clearing out, and that should be it. It's a little, our frontal boundary is here in this area. So I think you guys should be on the drier side of things for almost all the rest of the day. A lot of rain over here in Arkansas. I'm expecting Arkansas to stay below severe limits right now. I just don't see it. I just don't see this changing too much. We might get some severe winds with some of these storms trying to form over here east of Dallas, if they can mature, but the environment just really isn't that favorable, and it's not really forecasted to be that favorable for the rest of this event up there. San Antonio, you guys are actually about to get that frontal boundary move through your area, so you're probably going to notice it cool down. You might get some light to medium rates of rain out there, so you know, you'll have that little area of rain come through, and then, you know, some of these storms could form right before they go into San Antonio. You could get a little bit heavier rain at times in some areas of San Antonio. And then after that, it should cool down a little bit. Let's see what the temperatures are on the backside of this. Yeah, it should cool down into the 60s once that frontal boundary comes through. And then you'll slowly start to feel that moisture cool down. We still got a lot of day left. It might cool down initially and then warm back up, actually. Where is the couplet? It's right over here. Still very broad circulation here. But that merger is still in progress. The merger, it's kind of hard to tell, but we have a little storm that formed here and is merging in this area. So it's still in the process of doing that. Still a little bit broad circulation. Our areas of rotation further up to the north have all completely fell apart. So Shreveport should be fine. Shreveport is like right on that line. You know, right on that line. You know, our lapse rates will never get above 6 in Shreveport, according to our models and our latest model runs. So I'm not overly concerned about the Shreveport area for tornadic activity, but you could still see some, you know, severe winds. Severe weather is still possible up there. I just think our tornado chances are going to be a little bit lower. I'm not going to say impossible. It's still technically possible. We can just get a favorable storm interaction. If the warm front can rise there, that'll be your highest tornado threat. But we're kind of have to see that warm front go quite a bit north here, and it might struggle given with all this precipitation we were seeing up here. You guys just got potentially a round of precipitation there in Shreveport, and you got a little clearing here, but that just might not be enough to really get those instability values as high as you would need for a tornado threat. Will the tornado hit the center of Houston? As of right now, it looks like the storms to the west of the center of Houston are going to miss you. There are some smaller thunderstorms spotting the area out here, but those aren't going to mature anytime soon. So we're watching for the Houston area. As you can see, this storm right here is moving to the west, and then it's going to go north of Houston eventually, more towards like Conroe and Magnolia. Tomball and Spring. Let me see. Tomball, Texas. I would say your highest tornado chances are probably going to be over the next 2 hours with these little storms down here. And it might continue a little bit longer if we can get some more development here, but I don't think the line behind this is going to be very tornadic. For Sealy, let me see, Sealy, Texas. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing that I said for Spring and Tomball. It's mainly developed or mainly dependent on getting some more storms fired back down over here, which could happen. Could very well happen. But just keep an eye on it. You know, this storm right here is going to come pretty close to Tomball, not really much, or it's going to be moving away from Sealy. Sugarland, same thing. Got to see some more storms fired to the south. These ones are going to be moving away from you. But if we can get another storm fire and those lapse rates improve, or we get some favorable mergers, you could see some tornadic activity down there. Dallas, I just don't think you're going to see anything tornadic today. No. Is there a tornado? There is no tornadoes right now. We had a tornado warning earlier, but we have no evidence yet that produced. It did seem like it had a wall cloud on it. But as far as I could tell just by radar, it looked like it failed to produce a tornado, thankfully. Got a little merger, and it tried to tap into that shear environment, but then as soon as that merger finished, the storm fell apart. Austin, Texas, that frontal boundary is actually right over you right now. After that passes by, you guys are good for the rest of the day. You might still get some rounds of heavy rain if something develops back over here, but tornado risk is going to be 0. Grapeland. Where's Grapeland? Yeah, definitely got to monitor the weather for the next couple of hours. Not too much stuff happening nearby you right now. You got a little storm here, but you guys are pretty close to that warm frontal boundary. So, you know, short term, you are going to be reliant, what appears to be, unless we get like a storm form over here near Centerville, you might get a storm just to your south there into Crockett. This one near Madisonville will make a pretty close approach to Grapeland. That'll be your threat there. But again, I don't see a very high tornadic probability right now. That'll probably increase out to the day. I think the highest chance for, you know, at least tornado activity is in the eastern part of our tornado watch. I think back over here near College Station, near Austin, we're really going to struggle to get a tornado back there. Hello, hello. Welcome in, Dreambird. That would be like areas like Tipson, St. Augustine, Woodville, Lumberton, North Cleveland, Corrigan, Lufkin, I think it's Natchitoches, Jacksonville, Rusk, in these areas, Kingwood, Hardin, Liberty. And if we get storms fire further off to the south, Sugar Land and Houston. But again, still checking. Is our confluence band here, little area of confluence, which is basically just, we got these winds moving in this direction, and then we have potentially some winds converging from this direction as well, which is allowing these temperatures to drop here and then allowing our storms to kind of fire off of that little boundary. After that moves off, I don't think there's going to be another band behind it, but there, you know, we'll be monitoring it. If we do get another area of storms develop back over here in front of our line segment, you know, College Station and Brenham would still have to watch for that, but it seems like storms are really struggling back there in this area. These storms are kind of sapping up all that instability and tornado juice. Sugarland, again, pretty low if no storms fire further to the south here. Nacogdoches. Okay, so that's the one that was. So this over here is Natchitoches, and then this over here is Nacogdoches. Okay, thank you. There's a decent clearing behind these storms. Yeah, it just might not be enough. We'll see though. As you can see, like there's little things popping out here, little areas popping out here, but we're probably seeing some sun out there, but which will actually, what that will really help is these storms near Austin to develop. Where is this? These storms are currently in kind of like south eastern Texas here. That's the main area we're watching right now. Northeast Texas really doesn't look too bad right now. It really doesn't. I mean, we're talking, you know, pretty limited instability values, like over here near Longview and Tyler. We got more rain on the way. It's just going to lower those instability values even further. So not looking too bad. And thank you, Oof Mads, for the $2 donation. Is Trinity/Madisonville area at risk for tornado? Let me see where that is. Madison. Bill. You got a cluster of showers over you right now. No rotation, just heavy rain out of that. So yeah, not overly concerned with these storms. Trinity, Like if you live like in between Madison and Trinity, still would keep your eyes on the weather, but not seeing many signs of very tornadic activity. I mean, or really any tornadic activity right now in that area. But I'll just keep your eye on it. We're every now and then we're coming in to check in on our velocities to see if things have changed. But you see this area of rotation has even gotten even weaker as it gets closer to Caddy, Texas, and Cypress. But we're keeping a close eye on it. If something does develop, we will let you know. But as of right now, our environment is trying to get to that point to where it can start producing tornadoes. But if you come over to this camera here, you can see that, we do have a storm out there in the distance, but, not too crazy looking. Got another storm out over here. There's a lot of rain, a lot of cloud cover around these storms right now. We're the only channel to hit 100,000 two times. Probably not. I can definitely see it. I can definitely see we hitting 100,000 subscribers more than 2 times. I think we will hit 100,000 subscribers at least 10 times, unless things get more active. As I'm taking a much more strict approach to how I control the information out of my channel, and we're definitely not going to be posting as much. We're just going to be focused more on accuracy. Not going to really speculate too much. People always overlook lapse rates. Oh, all the time. Every time they overlook it. I've only seen a couple people mention it. And it's usually like the really smart folks like Trey Greenwood from Convective Chronicles. He'll mention it, but even him in his little forecast live stream yesterday, he brushed over it yesterday pretty fast. They can be overcome with mergers, so we do have to watch out for that. I think that there is still a chance that we could see a tornado or 2 here in the short term, and if those lapse rates really do get up in those 6 values, then we could potentially maybe even see more than that. I mean, if we can get widespread lapse rates up above 6, we could totally see, or we could definitely see the potential for a tornado outbreak. But, if we don't get those lapse rates up, we might get a couple of tornadoes, but it won't be that crazy of a day. It'll probably be the typical low lapse rate day where we get a tornado warning like once every hour or so. Because it takes a while for these storms to merge and decide what to do next when the lapse rates are so low. The severe weather threat won't officially pass Houston until we get this boundary pass, you guys. So probably a good couple of hours. Let me see what the Radar Mega is saying. Radar, is anybody else having this problem? Radar Mega on my side, the state lines have disappeared and they haven't come back for like multiple days. I mean, the latest HRRR says nothing's going to form to the south of these storms. And then you guys might just get a little squall line going late night into like 12 a.m. I really don't think these are going to be overly tornadic, because our lapse rates will be absolutely tanked by this point, at least according to our RAP analysis. Storms are bad in the south. Yeah, they are. Oh, we got a little bit of contamination here. Just zoom in to make sure. There's our couplet. Yeah, that appears to be contamination. Our mesocyclone, if it were to develop, would be back over here. And that is not where this area of rotation is. They might throw a warning on that. They do sometimes do that. That can indicate that we have some stronger inflow coming into the storm. Let's see what's causing this. Yeah, we got another merger. Another merger coming in, kind of forming in the same place as that last one formed. This little area right here is a new storm developing. You can probably see it clearly if I slow this down a tad. See, there's nothing really to the south, and then you see these reds start to appear. We got another merger coming into the storm, and that might increase the tornadic potential here in the short term, but I am pretty sure that this little signal right here is in the inflow. Wish we had a view of this storm from the ground, though. That would be a little bit more helpful in determining if that is a little bit a legitimate signal or not. Houston cams. Yeah, we do have Houston cams. Not a lot of them. We got this one, which is somewhat near that storm. And then we got this one. That is also, oops, I clicked one of these to the wrong ones. Hold on. Not that one. We want this one. Shoot, I forgot. They look so similar. Okay, I'll remember that. Is this different? No. Okay, so that's the same one there. And then we've got, oh my gosh, they look exactly the same. I'm looking at the clouds. Let me look at the buildings. Not being an idiot. Okay, buildings. Okay. So those buildings are the same. It's not that one, it's this one. There we go. I was looking at the clouds and like just the way the clouds look. I wasn't looking at like the buildings. That's why I was like, why do they look? Why can't I figure this out? You're lucky you're in Ohio. You're safe. Yeah, y'all severe weather season should be pretty much done unless we get one of those huge troughs that come in. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any storm chasers live right now, but Pagey Tornado should be going live here pretty soon. Yeah, in 7 minutes. So as long as they don't push that back, we should have a storm chaser out there. Not exactly sure where Pagey Tornado is at this point. But instead it made it worse. Did it really? Let's go check back in this area here. Right over Houston Executive Airport, we still have an indication here of some broader circulation. There is a little bit more precipitation here. Might be legitimate. At least where that area of rotation is right now. That initial signal a little bit further to the south might have been a little bit contaminated, but that we are getting a stronger inflow, and that looks like it is causing some rotation there as we get this storm merger interaction. Definitely, this is definitely the storm that is number one on my list right now of storms that I'm watching for that tornado potential because of that merger. How's day 2 looking? Day 2, we do have a slight risk and a marginal risk. Marginal risk extends into areas like Georgia, South Carolina, parts of North Carolina, over there in Tennessee, parts of Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Florida. We do have a slight risk out there, and the main reason for that is because we have a 5% tornado risk from Meridian to Tuscaloosa and to Montgomery and Gadsden here in Alabama. Tornado Pagey is near Cold Springs. Where's Cold Springs? Cold Springs. It's not showing that there's a Cold Springs, Texas. Yeah, there's tornado watches over here right now in like the Nacogdoches area, Lufkin, Center, Rusk, Henderson, Carthage, over there near Baytown, Sugar Land, the Woodlands as well. Have I ever seen a tornado? Yes, I have. Seen multiple. It's almost like it's going to fall apart. We've seen similar storms like that, and they always go outflow dominant. I mean, it's not in the best environment, but it is getting some mergers. So, you know, we could see this get tornado warned here in a little bit if it can hold, if it can tighten this rotation up. But we'll see. It seems like we might be getting some better hail signals out of this. Yeah, we might get a severe warning on this. There is an indication here that we might have some quarter-sized hail developing on this storm. Yeah, this signal back down here to the south, I still believe is the inflow. Might be a little bit inflow contaminated, but there is what appears to be some precipitation wrapping around there. Let me check our terminal. Yeah, our terminal radar is showing nothing. Wow. Our closest terminal radar is not showing one iota of rotation. So we might be dealing with a lot of contamination here. I'm not sure if that's terminal radar getting messed up or not. They're not super reliable, but it is interesting the contrast between the two. Any cameras? We do have some radar mega cams in the area, but you know, they're not really, I don't think they're close enough to this storm. They're mainly based out of Houston, I believe. Let me see exactly where they are. Go to here, there. Yeah, I mean, they're eventually going to be in the path of this storm up. Yeah, I mean, they should eventually get hit by this storm. Did I switch it to the wrong one again? No, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, this one in particular will probably get hit by the storm. We're just seeing the rain shield over the camera, but this one's actually pretty close to the path of this storm. If they turned it to the left just a little bit, we'd probably see the mezzo of it if there's not too much rain. Hey, the Uber Eats is on the way, folks. Just sprinkling light rain in Katy. Yes, the storm appears to be going just north of Katy, Texas, like the central portion of Katy, Texas. If you live more like near John Sioux, you're probably getting some pretty heavy precipitation over there. Sorry about that. My computer crashed. That's fun. That may happen every now and then. My computer's been doing some weird stuff lately. I don't know why it's been doing that, but I apologize when it does. I have, unfortunately, no control over it. I think I have like a loose connection or something. I don't know what the problem is. I am not very technologically advanced. That does mean that we have to reset everything again. Which is fun. Love that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I know. Unfortunate. That definitely is gonna ruin the algorithm on the stream, but it's can't do nothing about it. Problem is that I'm just too scared. I'm too scared to take my computer in my car. So I got to figure out the problem myself. I got to open up my computer. I'll probably do that before tomorrow's stream. As it's not supposed to crash while the stream is up. That's not good. Just reset up everything again.
Towards Humboldt and then into Houston.
Tornado Pagey is live. Let me get this set up. hopefully that doesn't happen again. That's super annoying, but just judging of what I've seen in the past, it shouldn't, I mean, it shouldn't do it after it does it once. So I'm hoping that stays the case. Oh, wow. Actually might be seeing some green in the sky. Yeah, if it does go down, it'll come back up. The stream won't end if it goes down again. I just have to restart my computer really quick and then set everything up again. It's super annoying, but it's what I got. This computer is supposed to be super advanced, but it's not living up to the expectations. Let's check back in with our storm. Yeah, still got some contamination here in the inflow. We'll check our, yeah, still not a whole lot of rotation from our terminal radar, which is our closest radar. So this is definitely still contamination over here near Cyprus. Definitely some hail potential though with this storm as well. So I would be keeping an eye on that in Cyprus as that's about to move into the area. Oh, watch this camera. Let me get some water really quick. I ran out of wildest. I got my dog some food too, and I put it on his little chair, but he has trouble getting up there, and so he just kept on like trying to jump and get up there. He kept on falling off just like 5 times in a row, and I was like, I'll come help you. I thank you, Jared, for gifting a membership. 5 memberships, thank you. And also thank you for becoming a membership as well. Thank you, thank you. If you guys got a membership from Jared, make sure to thank him in chat. Apparently we're getting a lot of CGs with this storm. All right. Yeah, we'll see what this storm is all about. We get a pretty good view from this camera. We don't get a view of the actual storm structure. Let me check our other one. Might be able to see it from this camera from afar if that one gets eaten up by the storm. Mexia, Texas, I'm pretty sure that's a little bit further to the north. Whoa! Oh yeah, that's a big old CG. Yikes. Again, for everybody that's rejoining, sorry that the stream crashed. No, I don't think Arkansas is really going to see much. If it does crash, just wait. Like it should be like at max 30 seconds before it comes back up. I have to restart my computer. Hopefully it doesn't crash for the rest of the stream though. It's not like oh, my computer's not strong enough because I have a 5070 Ti. That's not the problem. There's like something, I'm assuming some cable loose in there. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I am computerly very not smart. Yeah, still got some side lobe contamination in this area. A little something there, but that's probably hail contamination. Let me check with our terminal radar. Yeah, a little something right there. It's also kind of in the inflow there as well. Yeah, no real signal yet of a tornado developing with that storm. Check up a little bit further to the north. Yeah, it seems like the further north you go, the more the storms are really struggling up here. You have some storms over Mexia, so someone was asking about Mexia. Not worried about tornado potential with these storms. So after these storms pass and it starts to calm down, that should be it for you guys. Did it blue screen? No, it didn't blue screen. It just froze this time. Sometimes my main monitor screen just shuts off. And then so does my left monitor screen. It like loses signal, and then but that usually, and then my computer fan ramps up like really loud. We have a new meso analysis. Ooh, exciting.
A new MCD has been issued for this location.
Not seeing the graphic for it yet, but let's go look at the mesoscale analysis and see if we've got any new info to talk about. Yeah, these storms are still sitting in some decent instability. Lower level lapse rates are trying to improve. Actually, this storm is getting pretty close to some 6 lapse rates. That's what these storms need to really become tornadic. So that continues to improve out in front of this storm. We might actually see this storm make a run at some tornado, like an actual tornado. It could be overheating. It is not overheating. This is a liquid cooled 5070 Ti. I can run any video game you could think of and the highest resolution and have no issue. That is not the problem. Thank you, Audrey. I appreciate that. 150 mile per hour tour. Yeah. Let me see. No, 100 to 130 miles per hour. So they haven't changed their wording too much. They're saying the greatest short-term risk they've highlighted over here. And lo and behold, that is the area where we have those lapse rates increasing too. So I do agree with this. I do agree with this. If this storm can
A new tornado warning has been issued.
New tornado warning, folks, for this storm here. We do have a little area of rotation here that is kind of associated with our mesocyclone. That's not in the inflow anymore. That's actually developing back over just to the west of Estates of Highland Creek. That's moving off to the north and east towards Cypress and Villages of Cypress Lakes. If you guys live in that area, make sure that you are in your safe spots. Hopefully we get a view of it with this camera here. Let me see exactly where this is. Yeah, this is just south of Cypress, so we should see the mesocyclone of this tornado warning with this camera. This rotation isn't too powerful, by the way. Not very strong rotation. I forgot to note that. Pretty weak little area, little couplet right there, south and west of Parkland Village. That's the area we're monitoring. It's very weak circulation, but it is somewhat tight. So if we do get a tornado out of this, it's going to be on the weaker side, but I would still be in your safe spots. We don't want to, definitely don't want to test Mother Nature. That circulation could get stronger. We are getting a little bit of a storm merger interaction here yet again, and those lapse rates are increasing. It's only a matter of time potentially before those lapse rates start interacting with this storm. 100K celebration. No, we've already hit 100K. This is the second time we've hit it. You're on the storm, no lowering yet. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we should get a view of it here pretty shortly. It's going to come into the left side of the screen here. Let me check back over here. Yeah, I don't see it from that camera yet. Lost subscribers, yes. Yeah, I don't post that often videos and then during these quiet periods because I don't do like long-term overhyping of storms. Like you won't catch me making a forecast for December because it's doesn't make any sense to do so, as it will be wrong. So I like to wait until things get accurate. So in between bigger storms, depending on when they happen, you know, I usually, if I don't post anything, I usually lose about 20 subscribers a day, which is pretty average for a channel. And thank you, Jared, for the 5. Thank you so much. All right, let's come back over here and see if we have a new scan in. Oh, wow. Yeah, this scan is actually looking a little bit concerning here. The storm has definitely got some stronger rotation there, and it's tighter. No debris signature that is located in the mesocyclone of the storm as well. We'll be moving over 99 here, just north of estates of Highland Creek. We're about to see this storm potentially try to produce a tornado here. If you live anywhere near Bridgeland or estates of Highland Creek, I would be in your safe spots for sure. The storm is making an attempt here. Making an attempt. It's having a merger, and also our lapse rates are increasing. My confidence on this storm's ability to potentially produce a tornado is getting higher here. Let me fix this too. Yeah, our camera is located here just south of Cyprus. So we're going to get a very good view of this circulation as it comes close to, let me see what road this is, 290 here in just a second. Not looking good. Yeah, unfortunately, that is some pretty decent rotation. Pretty decent rotation. I would say enough to produce a weak tornado. Let me check on our terminal radar. Our terminal radar, though, is still not showing much, showing that rotation a little bit further to the south and east. It's unfortunately missing data there in the place where we need it the most. Definitely have to rely on this one. It says that rotation is more down here, though. Merger from the south. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Mergers are what's going to keep this storm alive. You can actually see if we play this here, this new merger there that formed near Berkshire is pushing into the storm. We've had multiple mergers run into this storm recently, and that's really allowing this thing to unfortunately tap into that shear environment. And we are really starting to see this rotate. Okay, we're starting to see something here that might be like an inflow tail popping up on our camera. Again, this camera is going to be very close to where this circulation is. We should be able to see it as long as it's not rain wrapped. Whoa, man, that was a huge lightning bolt. I bet you that one was loud. Oh, another one. Wow, this storm has got a lot of lightning with it too, which means it's strengthening. These mergers are definitely helping this storm tap into that environment. Dang, another one. That looked like the same area that last one struck. And this storm is very active. Looks like we're also developing a little bit more of an organized hail core that's about to move into Cyprus. I would not be surprised if there was quarter-sized hail in this storm right now. Thankfully, no debris signature. Still not super strong rotation yet. Did get stronger there for a little bit, but our latest scan has had it weaken just a tad, but still we are still going through that merger. So I still think we have another opportunity for this to strengthen yet again. So again, it's about to cross over Parkland Village and Town Lake and Bridgeland, heading over towards Cyprus after that. You guys still need to be in your safe spots here. You are under a tornado warning. I better move in this camera. Hopefully moving it to point actually at the storm. Hello? Mr. Cameraman. There we go. Oh, wow. Look at that, folks. There's what appears to be a wall cloud on the left side there. And then another, what appears to be another little circulation back in there as well. Wow. Not seeing a tornado, thankfully. So yeah, the circulation isn't strong enough yet to produce a tornado, but if it does so, we're going to see it here live on camera. Yeah, still radar indicated. They did upgrade this tornado warning to 1-inch hail. What? Don't move the camera back there. There's nothing there, sir. Sir? Mr. Sir, please turn the camera back towards the actual store, Mr. Sir. What is that? On the right, on the left side, there's suspicious. I think that's Scud. Yeah, that's Scud rising off of the ground. All right, let me go check our latest scan here. And you can definitely see this thing is curling around. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like that rotation is strengthening yet again here. South of Bridgeland, heading towards 290. Guys need to still be in your safe spots here. Again, this is just north and east of Houston is where this tornado warning is. It's the only tornado warning that we have in progress right now. No tornado on the ground as far as we can tell. We got a camera right next to it. We should, regardless, hopefully this cameraman turns the storm, but regardless if they do or not, we should still catch a tornado if it does decide to drop out of the sky here. Hopefully not. That's what our fingers are crossed. Our toes are crossed. Every single hair follicle is crossed here, and this does not produce a tornado. Turn the camera. Yeah, everybody in the chat yell at the Radar Mega to turn the camera actually towards the storm. And maybe they'll do it. Maybe they'll listen to you guys. Will it be a strong tornado? I don't think so. We'll see. I mean, the lapse rates are improving, so you could make that argument. It's a pretty messy storm. A lot of mergers. Okay, now they're turning the camera away from the storm. All right. Let me check this camera. Yeah, still not seeing anything from farther away. See where Pagey tornado is. Looks like they are near North Cleveland, heading towards Roman Forest. I think they're just north of this storm. Yeah, still waiting on that latest scan to come in, but if you're just now tuning in, our area of rotation is right here south of Bridgeland right now. Just south of Bridgeland. Heading up towards Town Lake. It's going to be making a very close approach here to Cypress, Texas. Why did he turn it towards the tower there? I feel like a 2-year-old could find out where the bad part of the storm is. I don't know what's going on. Maybe they're having a camera malfunction. there's your area of rotation right there. Still no debris signature. Just double check this camera. Make sure it doesn't like go back. Okay, yeah, we gotta. This camera will also have a view of this storm as it comes through. You can see it's slowly starting to show up there. I don't know why they turned the camera towards that pole, but that was our only view of the storm. So mysteries, huh? Mysteries. The latest scan here, still some decent rotation, not seeing a correlation coefficient. So although we're still seeing some decent rotation, we are not seeing a debris signature. So as far as I can tell on radar, this is not on the ground, but it could produce a tornado. So again, if you live near Cypress, continue to be in your safe spots. Okay, it looks like they're turning the camera again. Yes, there's the storm. Don't touch the dang camera. Thank you. Stop. Sir. Hands off. Oh my goodness. Oh, wait, maybe he's cooking. Maybe there's something back over there. Oh. No, don't stop. Okay, there's the inflow tail. So yeah, that is our area of interest right there on the left side of the screen. Funnel, I cannot tell. That kind of looked interesting, but the camera didn't stay on it long enough for me to be able to confirm. And they're turning the camera away again. For reasons nobody knows. I don't know. Hopefully we get a good view from this camera. Let me just refresh it here just to make sure. Yep. Okay. So be it. All right. Latest scans still haven't come in. Still some potentially pretty decent hail falling over here near villages of Cypress Lakes and Longwood Village. Also have another cluster of storms developing now south of Sugarland. This would make a closer approach to Houston than any of these other storms have if this can mature. And that is firing close to those 6-degree lapse rates. So could make the argument there. Oops. Okay. There's our area of interest on the right side of the screen. They literally cannot just get the right area of focus. I don't know who's controlling these cameras, but it's starting to give me stress. Check our terminal radar here. Yeah, the terminal radar is also showing a decent area of rotation just south of Town Lake. I like the Town Lake area, and I think that's that area that we keep on getting a brief glance at. Yeah, right there. A little bit broader here on our latest scans. Please tell me this camera is actually gonna see the storm. Yeah, you can see it's approaching. We might actually see it better on this camera because the cameraman is on the other one is not really fluent. Yeah, it does seem like the rotation is broadening out a little bit now. Yeah, that on the right side, you can see there's some decent motion there. Right on the right side of the screen, there is your rotation. As it approaches, it's getting pretty darn close to Cypress, so I still want Cypress to be in their safe spots. You can definitely tell that that is rotating. That is a rotating wall cloud right there. Very visibly rotating. Dog. Guys, I am convinced that this is not a human controlling the camera. I am convinced there is a cat walking on the camera controls. Yeah, now it's on the left side of the screen. Right there. That's where the tornado would be produced. Does seem like we might have maybe a funnel of some sort developing there, maybe a bowl funnel. Oh my gosh. This is going to cause so much stress that I'm going to have a heart attack live on stream. Yeah, starting to see the storm come into view here on this camera as well. Hopefully they don't start touching this camera, whoever that is. Sir, if you're watching the stream, do not move the camera. Keep it here. Right there. There's your mesocyclone. About to cross over 280. Cyprus is in the path of this circulation. You can definitely see there's still a decent amount of motion around our mesocyclone right now. Not seeing any power flashes underneath it. Sometimes you can have an uncondensed tornado underneath these mesocyclones. Will there be a tornado? It's definitely possible. And in fact, our latest scan looks like a tornado might be imminent here. Pretty darn strong rotation. About to head into Cole's Crossings. Still radar indicated no debris signature, but that's some pretty darn strong rotation there. I would come right out of this area here. So keep your eye out for power flashes. Fortunately, this is yeah, you can see the motion in the storm as well. This thing has definitely got a lot of rotation. Again, Cypress and Cole's Crossing, Longwood Village, Lakewood Forest all need to be in their safe spots. A stronger rotation is developing on our storm as we speak. I cannot tell if it's down. It looks like we do have a funnel on the left side. These water droplets are making it a little bit hard to see what's going on here. Kind of looks like there might be a funnel though on the left side. Oh no, that's not a funnel. That's another droplet, it appears. Okay, here's a further away view of our storm. And this is the tornado warned storm. That might be a new mesocyclone forming on the outside of the storm. I think the other mesocyclone that we were watching might be occluding, and this one right here might be the new mesocyclone. Yeah, that could be the beginning of a tornado there. But on the camera, there is nothing. I mean, we would be seeing power flashes for sure in this area, even if it's a little bit rain wrapped. But yeah, that might be the beginnings of something here on our radar. About to cross over 290. Heading towards Willie's, Hot Wells Shooting Range, Psycho Business Services, Cypress Village Station, and Coles Park. But yeah, our velocity though, our latest velocity signature is not really that strong. So we'll see. I'm not sure if that's, we'll keep watching this camera very closely to see if we see any power flashes underneath this thing. For some reason I got to keep refreshing this. I don't know why. Weird. Yeah, this is a little bit, yeah, you can see it just back in there, that mesocyclone, a little bit clearer. I think that first rotation has occluded and we're getting a new area further down to the south on our storm here. That's all just a lot of neighborhoods. It is. It's very concerning if this actually drops a tornado. Yeah, you can see that mesocyclone back off in the distance. Just on the left of the screen, there is not a at least a condensed tornado down at the moment. I'm not seeing any power flashes back there. Let's see if this camera, yeah, this camera is just really rainy, but we would still see power flashes with it. One got behind. These cameras keep getting behind every time I go off of them for some reason. So I have to manually push them back to the current every time we like switch off of them. So if it looks like it time lapses, that's what's happening. Yeah, that's definitely a new meso forming. Again, this is heading into Cypress, Texas. You live near Cypress, Texas. You need to be in your safe spots. Longwood Village as well needs to be in their safe spots too. Coles Crossing, area of rotation is right here. Looks like we still have a tighter couplet here just south of Cypress, moving into North Freeway Frontage Road. Interesting area here. Wonder if that would be this guy. No, I'm not seeing any debris. But yeah, you can definitely see this is definitely a more organized feature than the other one that occluded into the storm there. Man, this thing wants to drop a tornado so bad. I really hope it changes its mind. Might even have a funnel back in there. Make sure we're at the current frame. Yeah, we are. It's struggling. Yes, it is. It's definitely struggling. Rotation as the latest scan actually has a clear indication of some struggling there. But look at this, a new area of rotation. So that, I think this is our occluding circulation. And I think this right here is our new circulation that we've been monitoring here. That's legitimate rotation south of Lakewood Forest. So watch out near St. Luke's Health, the Village Hospital, over there near Jones Road, Del Pueblo Mexican Restaurant, Houston Methodist Willowbrook Hospital, Whole Foods Market, Perry Steakhouse. Again, is near Cypress, Texas, north and west of Houston. And we're talking about areas over here near the Lakewood Forest area here in this tornado warning where we have some tightening circulation. And I think that's this circulation right here. Yeah, no tornado on the ground right now, but I'm pretty certain that that is that new area of circulation here. This is looking a little bit more supercellular on radar as well, which is not a good sign. Yeah, the lapse rates, it's still in somewhat unfavorable lapse rates, but I mean, we have those 6-degree lapse rates literally right in front of this storm, and it might have already spread into the storm. The mesoscale analysis only updates once an hour, so how those move within the hour, we will only know until the next hour. But it seems like the storm is tapping into some better lapse rates. Man, that is so close to producing. Boy, oh boy. And if you live in Lakewood Forest, you need to be in your safe spots. We're likely going to get this extended into Klein, Candleflight Hills, Laquita Woods, and Spring here in a little bit. Yeah, watch for power flashes. There'll be like little blue lights, green lights underneath that dark mass that is extending down to the ground there. Sometimes you can get a tornado when it's not fully condensed, so it looks like just power flashes underneath it. We definitely have a pretty organized wall cloud on this storm. It is definitely a dangerous storm, not only visually speaking, but also on our velocities. This area has a tight area of rotation south of Lakewood Forest. Oh, looks like they're zooming in for us here. Oh man, I think that's a funnel. Oh, we might have a tornado. I can't tell if that's scud or dust rising. No debris signature on radar, but it looked like there was something coming off the ground there. I'm not sure if that was moisture or actual ground contact, but we might have a tornado here. Yeah, you see that on the ground? It looks like a little vortice. This might be a touch and go tornado.
A new tornado warning has been issued.
Yeah, this is now an observed tornado. This is a tornado on the ground, folks. Tornado is on the ground. Yep, those are little vortices. We have a tornado in progress here, folks. You can see it here live. Again, this is a tornado that is crossing over 249 as we speak here, just to the south and east of Cypress, Texas. This is north and west of Houston. It's not going towards Houston, but we have a touch and go tornado heading towards CHI, St. Luke's Hospital, the Vintage Hospital, Champion Forest, Luetta as well, and then over there near Bammel as well too. And this is a touch and go tornado. We have seen little vortices. This is potentially a multi-vortex tornado in progress here. We've seen multiple vortices underneath this thing. It's not fully condensed, but you can just see how much rotation is underneath this. But again, this is a confirmed tornado that is in progress. Man, I really hope that it stays like this. Because if we get anything like super consolidated with this storm, because those little vortices are most likely not causing any like very extreme damage, you know, maybe they could be ruining some fences and ripping off some roof shingles. But man, this has got that look of a storm that, you know, if it can really tap into those lapse rates, we could get potentially a strong tornado out of this. And that would not be good. It's just got that look. That wall cloud is spinning like a top here. And it's, yes, the rotation is now crossing over the highway 249 right now. Next in line is going to be Comfort Suites, Willowbrook, Tumble, 22 Hot Chicken, Melabella, Whole Foods Market off of Luetta Road, Torchy Tacos, First Texas Hospital, Aldi's near Cutton Road, over there near Hertz Road as well. This is coming your way. Haven't seen a vortice under there in a while. But again, this is a touch and go tornado. Hasn't fully condensed, but it could fully condense at any moment. And we could have, you know, even more damage be caused by this storm. So again, if you are in any of those areas that we just called out, you need to be in your safe spots. Further down the line is going to be areas like Spring, Texas, Loretta Woods, Candlelight Hills, the Falls and Imperial Oaks, Texas as well. And again, this storm is just north now and north and west of Houston, Texas. Not coming towards Houston, by the way, not coming towards Houston, moving away from Houston. So Houston doesn't need to be worried about this storm. Yeah, you guys don't need to be worried about this storm. I haven't seen a new vortice under there yet. Have y'all seen any new vortices underneath our storm? Rotation is strong with this one, folks. Rotation is strong. It's just not making full contact with the ground. Yeah, latest scan still has this over 249, but I would assume it's more near Champion Forest now. Champion Forest Drive. It's coming towards Kleb Intermediate School and Klein High School. Coming very close to those schools. Also, Moo House Cafe. We're talking like the Klein Community Center, Cell Geek Spring, Stubener Airline Road. There's a Sonic on Luetta Road that's in the path of this. I think I might have just saw another vortice, another brief vortice. Does look like the wall cloud is looking a little bit more ragged, a little bit more ragged, not as consolidated as it was earlier. All right, let's come back over to our radar really quick just so I can show you guys who all's in this warning. This is our tornado warning. Spring, the Falls of Imperial Oaks. You guys are next in line there, and our rotation is still right over Lakewood Forest. Little debris signatures right over here near Luetta now. So our tornado still potentially causing damage is near Luetta. And this is the view of that storm. Oops, sorry. Of that storm. They are going to need to turn the camera here eventually. So hopefully we get a camera turn here shortly. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that was basically the area of the storm we needed to be watching still. Haven't seen any new vortices yet. No new power flashes underneath our storm either. This tornado warning is still observed, but we are currently... Oops. What are they doing? Please don't start doing what did the other camera operator decide to start operating this camera too? Let me check back with this camera, see if it's facing towards it. Not. All right, while they figure out what the heck to do with that one, let's come back over to here. Check out our latest scans. Yeah, still a decent couplet here, north and east of Lakewood Forest. And maybe still a debris signature. That's likely, though, just given what we have seen visually on the ground. This is likely debris falling out of the sky now. Debris falling out of the sky, most likely, from those brief vortices that we saw underneath that bowl-like funnel. Okay, looks like the camera is slowly making its way around town. I think they can only turn these cameras like one direction, so if they overshoot it, they gotta like come all the way back around. It's almost there. Any moment. But again, Klein still needs to be in their safe spots. Our rotation is directly over Klein Kane High School and Old Luetta Road, Bonnie Shawn Drive, and it's going to be heading towards Champion Forest Drive near the Wonderlick Farm Interactive History Park. Okay, there's our storm. Potentially a new funnel, maybe on the left side there. Potentially that looks pretty smooth. That might be scud hanging down. We'll see. We'll watch it for a little bit. Oh, it's definitely rotating around that area. Look at that on the right side. Is that scud? Is that a tornado on the right side there? Okay, that might be a tornado there. On the right side, we might be seeing debris getting lofted back up in the air underneath this. Yep, on the very right side of that lowering, there appears to be a tornado down back in there. Let me zoom in myself. Yep, right there, center of the screen. It's touching the ground. It appears to be another one of those vortices in progress here. So this is still on the ground, folks. Still on the ground. This is, again, now over Wonderlick Farm Interactive History Park, heading into Klein, Texas. Next is going to be Sam Gyro's house, Spring Cypress Road, Windrose Golf Club, Tequila El Rodeo del Jalisco. It's a restaurant, Waffle House. There's a Kroger over here near Luetta Road as well. That is very close to this tornado in progress. Yeah, you can still see debris getting lofted underneath that bowl funnel there. This is a tornado in progress, folks. You can even see the debris, unfortunately, being lofted up in the air. This is a real tornado. It's really on the ground. This is a live view, and it is currently has a debris signature as well on radar. You can see that debris is now popping up on radar here near Dover Intermediate School. He's heading towards the Dover Intermediate School. Be in your safe spots. Again, this is a tornado in progress. You can still see that debris underneath our circulation as it rises up into the air. That is unfortunately trees, potentially houses, as we have seen pretty close to some of these schools as well. Is school in session? Are schools in Thanksgiving break? Or are schools still in session? I think it's still around school time. Yeah, it's 1:47. I really hope they're on break down here. Schools are out. Okay, good. That's good news. Yeah, latest here from our view. Not seeing that debris as clearly as before. It looks like our storm is getting a little bit rain wrapped here as well. And on radar, I'm actually noticing something here. Look at this. This might be occluding into the parent supercell, which means hopefully it won't last much longer. And then, but unfortunately, there might be another mesocyclone further to the south, slowly developing here. And I think that's what that is there on the camera. We zoom out here again. Yeah, what we're looking at here, that is not that mesocyclone we were looking at earlier. That might be the new one developing to its south. This could be the next tornado producing area, but do not get me wrong. There is still, let me check our latest CC. Yeah, there's still most likely a tornado in progress heading towards Klein, Texas. Again, that is Klein, Texas. Unfortunately, just went over North Oaks Baptist Church, heading over Steubener Airline Road, and is about to head into Klein. Then after that is going to be TC Jester Boulevard, Sam Gyro's house, and Penn Lakes, Satira Lakes, and Bridgestone West. Again, tornadoes located over here near Klein, right here in this area of rotation there. And folks, on the line is still Spring, Texas, and also the falls at Imperial Oaks as well. Again, the storm is north of Houston, not going towards Houston, so you don't need to be worried about the storm in Houston. But definitely that new little feature on our storm we can see visually, and according to radar here, we do have a new mesocyclone now forming to the south. Let's check back in here. Yeah, we have a wall cloud slowly developing. This is what our storm looked like earlier before it dropped that tornado. So it does appear like our storm is recycling. It really sucks, man. Those 6-degree lapse rates are definitely further south than what our models indicated they would be. But unfortunately, also so is our shear. And yeah, I think this storm is tapping into those 6-degree lapse rates, which is why we're seeing it become so tornadic all of a sudden. Okay, we just got an update on our tornado warning. They are still saying it's observed, which is likely wrapped back into the rain that we cannot see anymore. Probably wrapped back there in the rain, but that's most likely that rain and that cool air around the tornado is going to cause the tornado to cease to exist here shortly. But still out in front of the storm near Windrose Golf Club and Bridgestone West, Dove Meadows, and Rotherwood need to be in their safe spots for that, as still uncertain on just how much longer that tornado was going to last as it's wrapped in that rain. But it does seem like at least our circulation is weaker than what it was. Yeah, our latest correlation coefficient still indicating that we might have still a tornado in progress, or that could be debris coming out of the sky here. Looks like it's heading towards Spring Creek Barbecue, Spring Hospital. So yeah, we are seeing a little bit more of a northerly trajectory now with our tornado. A little bit more of a northerly trajectory as it occludes into the storm. So instead of going more towards Bridgestone West, it looks like it's heading more towards the Walmart Supercenter, Criminal Intermediate School, Oak On Sports, Avonic, and Rotherwood. Hopefully that falls apart. Hopefully that's just debris falling out of the sky and we don't have a tornado still in progress with that. But I would still treat it like it's a tornado on the ground until we see that debris signature completely dissipate. Yeah, guys, hold questions for now. We will answer them. As we get a little bit more time. If we get a tornado lift here, we can confirm it's not on the ground anymore. We will definitely answer more questions. I promise. Let me just check this camera out over here to make sure. There, and then let's go check in on Tornado Pagey. Check their progress. Should be getting pretty close to this storm. Yeah. All right. So here's Tornado Pagey. She is now right next to this mesocyclone. The newly developing one. This is our storm chaser in the area. They are in Spring, Texas right now.
All right. So if you're just joining us, welcome in. We're in Texas in a tornado warning. If you live in the town of Spring, Klein.
Yeah, Spring needs to be watching out for this new mesocyclone. Definitely. Candle Height Hills and Loretto Woods needs to be watching this new mesocyclone here, which is basically just an area of spin that appears on like the southwestern portion of the storm, and that is heading towards Spring. And that's exactly what we're looking at here. This is that new mesocyclone. If the tornado is still in progress, it would be on the right side of our screen.
Look at it. Why does it look so nice?
Yeah, there's still a debris signature north of Klein, heading towards Spring Creek Barbecue and Criminal Intermediate School. Still a debris signature, so that one is still potentially on the ground. Bush Airport. Is that David Wayne Hooks Airport? Because this came very close, if not over, David Wayne Hooks Memorial Airport.
We can go west on this road and then hit 99 again.
Okay.
Stay right up underneath it. It's color cross.
Wow. Yeah, not really a super organized wall cloud on this new circulation yet. But we got another merger that's going to be incoming on this storm, which might push this new mesocyclone over the edge. I'm just noticing this on radar. We do have a new merger here. Let me put Pagey on this view. We do have a new storm developing just to the south and west of our storm here. Also, some rain is coming into Houston. Don't be scared of that. It's not mature storm yet. But I am every now and then keeping an eye on that. But this new merger that's going to be coming in, that's going to be cycling into our storm, and that'll either help it or hurt it. So we're going to have to watch this new southern area of rotation like a hawk as it heads into Loretto Woods, the Oak of Devonshire, Candlelight Hills, and Spring, Texas here. Again, this is just now directly north of Houston. See if we can get another view here from Pagey, Tornado, and Bryce. I think day 3. As of right now, day 3 is just general thunderstorm risk. We might get a marginal, like closer to like the Georgia and Florida border. There will be some instability, it appears.
All right, we're in Klein, Texas.
Let me check this camera again. See if it's still tracking it. It's not. Yeah. It's all right. We have our storm chasers in the area. Now you can see that mesocyclone now going over them on the left side of the road there. Again, this is a You check on our northern circulation. Yeah, northern circulation. Yeah, okay. It looks like our northern tornado has dissipated here. We're now seeing debris fall out here. And our rotation is a lot weaker. We have Bluefin Sushi near this, Vonak and Rotherwood, but it does seem like this circulation is getting weaker and our tornado has lifted. I would still be in your safe spots just in case this does recycle, but it does look like this is splitting off of our storm, and our new storm is going to be wrapping up down here if it decides to do so. Throughout the entirety of this tornado watch, these are really the only storms that are tornadic right now. We don't really have any other signatures out there. We do have this crashing frontal boundary that's about to move into Tyler and Palestine with some elevated rain chances. Those might become severe later on today if the instability can make it up that far to the north. But as of right now, this is really our only storm, as there is just a tiny little area of those 6-degree lapse rates that are hanging out right here. And it probably, I'm guessing by the next mesoscale discussion, our mesoscale analysis, this is going to be like pretty darn close to that 6-degree lapse rate area. We'll see. Just based off of its, although it did get a lot of mergers, so it could have still just been a merger-induced tornado. Is Northgate, Spring needs to be in their safe spots. Needs to be in their safe spots. As of right now, we are not seeing strong enough rotation to support a tornado. And in fact, I'm seeing evidence of an outflow boundary here, which should be relatively good news. But again, sometimes those outflow boundaries just kind of fall apart and it becomes more inflow dominant. But yeah, right over Spring, Texas, there is certainly an environment to support tornadoes, at least as long as we keep getting these mergers, and there are new mergers coming in. So we'll see. We shall see. Oh, that's interesting. Here's a new view from Pagey Tornado. Our storm chaser on the ground. Is Conroe okay? Yeah, Conroe is north of this. You guys got some showers coming towards you, but none of them are really that organized right now. The main storm we're watching is over here near Spring, Texas. I'm also watching down over near the Houston area. We do have storms trying to get organized. They are in better lapse rates, but they are having some trouble right now. I'm wondering if the forcing is too weak down there.
All right, we're heading back towards Spring.
Unlimited time now with this cell. Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't get any more mergers and those 6-degree lapse rates aren't or those 6 lapse rates aren't over our storm, then yeah, it's on very limited time. Also, a new thing that I just noticed here on our mesoscale analysis is that we do have a little bit of a surface inversion, a little bit of cooler air near the surface of our storm. You can see this blue area right here. That is a little bit of cooler air near the surface. That'll also probably keep those lapse rates lower as these storms continue off to the north and east. So yeah, I would agree with that person in chat. This storm in particular might be on borrowed time, especially now that we're noticing an outflow boundary. But we do have more storms trying to develop a little bit further south on this confluence band. Oh wow, look at this. Directly under that new mesocyclone. We'll see if we see anything that disagrees with the radar. Sometimes the radar doesn't give a good full picture. Cyprus is good. I do think, South Cyprus might have got some tornado damage, like just south of Cyprus or south and east. If you know anybody that lives south and east of Cyprus, in between Cyprus and Jersey Village, I would definitely be reaching out to them. Just making sure that they're okay. I don't think it was a very strong tornado, but it was probably enough to do some damage. Let's see if we have any other cameras nearby. Yeah, we don't have any more traffic cameras. We do still have this camera. We'll just keep that up in that frame. Okay, you just got an update. Okay, looks like they have officially stated that this tornado is no longer in progress. We do still have a tornado warning here. All folks inside of the polygon should continue to stay in their safe spots as we assess what this storm is going to do next. Yeah, now everybody's on the same page. It passed Bridgeland, Cypress, all good. Yeah, on the backside of this storm, it really should be calming down there near Cypress. We do have some more storms trying to develop back over here near Columbus. A couple of prefrontal showers there. Unsure if those are going to be able to mature or not, but just something to keep an eye on for the future. The storm over in southern Houston is getting a little bit stronger here. I do want to look at a loop of the echo tops, but just show how tall the clouds are. Yeah, they've been bubbling, but it's kind of hard to tell. It might be a little bit too close to the radar, unfortunately, to get a good signal on that. Yeah, keeping an eye on this little guy just north and west of Pearl Land. It is actually in some decent thermodynamics, and you know, the shear down in Houston. Let me check on what that is at the moment. Yeah, shear down in Houston is, yeah, this storm is just in that 30 knots of lower level shear. Wow. Little interesting thing. Our wind barbs here are a little bit south to north. A little bit south to north. That, you see where our upper level winds are. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely we're also seeing a little bit of a better environment in terms of our directional shear develop here. What's it gonna do? Oh yeah, I don't have that up anymore. Just doing something really quick. Okay, so that should be good here. Okay, so a lot of the models were indicating that our wind shear would be going in like the same direction as our upper level winds, which, you know, up here in the blue, those are the upper level winds, and the lower levels like this. But we're actually seeing something more like this, like not exactly perpendicular, but definitely more perpendicular than what was modeled. We're around 30 knots of shear. Upper level shear is a little bit higher than this. And you can definitely tell, you see how when I bring these wind barbs more directional, the rotation slows down. And that's very, very like what happens in real life. And then as they become more perpendicular, we definitely see a lot more spin in the atmosphere. So that's a little something new there on our models. Our RAP analysis. Latest scan with this storm right now looks like the storm has almost lost all of its marbles here. Might shift our attention back down to these storms that are over near Klein. This is what our storm looks like visually. This is in Spring, Texas. It's one of our storm chasers. You can also see that the storm is not looking as impressive either on the visual view either.
All right, guys, so we are in
Yeah, tornado's gone.
north of Spring,
We are pretty confident about that now.
north of Houston. We are in this tornado warning. Kind of looks like it fell apart. Not sure if it's going to recycle or not.
Yeah, Central Houston is fine right now. You guys do have a storm that's going to be coming through like near the University of Houston, near Galena Park. And we're watching that for tornadic activity. It is definitely in an environment where you could make the argument that if it could become mature enough and develop an inflow, that could maybe try to produce a tornado. So we're watching over here. Oops, that's wrong. We just make sure we got the directions right on this storm. Yeah, we're watching like over here near like Galena Park, near Pasadena, like south central Houston. Or this new storm that's developed a little bit further to the south. Could do something similar to this as this storm. Maybe even could make the argument for a little bit of a stronger tornado, given the fact that this one appears to be pretty much just in those 6-degree lapse rates. I thank you, Mike, for the $10 donation. Thank you so much. You were able to grab a video and the first touchdown, my first tornado live from a touchdown, and second I've seen in person in the last year. Thanks for being my eyes on the radar. Yeah, no problem. That's the first time I've ever got a comment like that. But yeah, absolutely no problem. Hopefully we helped you navigate the storm. This is an interesting feature on the storm. Look at this. A little bit of a lowering. A little bit of scud. Yeah, thank you so much for that $10 donation. That really does help. Guys, if you don't know, we don't do any sponsorships on this channel. You guys fully fund this channel. We don't do any ads, no sponsorships. So, you know, that's, you know, even a $10 donation like that really does go a long way. So huge shout out to you, man. I'm glad you're able to chase that safe and, you know, document it. It will be helpful for science. So thank you. Yeah. Looks like that's just scud there. It's not surprising. Yeah, these storms over here near Spring, Texas are looking a little bit iffy. Look at this storm over here near Huntsville. Getting definitely some stronger reflectivity there. That's about it. A lot of rain in that area. Spring is fine right now. Not seeing anything on the radar here that is now concerning for spring. Now that this northern storm has fallen apart, that new mesocyclone thankfully failed to form, and it was right before this storm completely fell apart. So spring Texas is good. You definitely have some heavier rain. This could become severe or close to severe before it moves into spring, but it's going to be a pretty quick hitting storm there. We'll do a wide scale view here for a moment. You can see our frontal boundary draping down to the south here. These are our storms in the warm sector that we're probably the most concerned about right now. Lots of rain spreading further inland here, looks like. Which is, again, not a super conducive environment. Still, according to our latest mesoscale analysis, which just came in here, we'll check to see if we have any changes to that thought process. Yeah, no. Yeah, there was some 6-degree lapse rates closer to this storm, but it looks like it was the merger that kicked this storm off. It was a merger. The storm over here near Houston is, let me see, is that like, yeah, the storm that's near Houston is in those 6 lapse rates. But it looks like it's about to move out of that area. If nothing develops out in front of it, it might move out of those better lapse rates, which would keep it on the low side unless it interacts with another storm. And yeah, further up north on the northern portion of our tornado risk, our lapse rates are just not there. They're below 5. You're not going to get a tornado out of that environment. Our instability also doesn't even reach up to these northern storms either. Here is our line right here of our 1,000 joules per kilogram, which is essentially what you need in higher shear environments. You can make the argument for like 500, even like 300 joules per kilogram, but we are still relatively in a lower shear environment. 30 to 35 knots, 40 knots of shear up there in northeastern Texas, but thermodynamically speaking, there is just nothing. No lapse rates, no instability. That's just going to be rain up there. So yeah, our main corridor. It's like our main corridor is really shifting to like back over to the west of Houston if those storms can mature. Yeah, even then, I mean, those lapse rates aren't even making it over there either. Like our lapse rates are already starting to crash. Yeah, because like really after this point, oh yeah, you can also see how the forecast called for those 6.5 degree lapse rates near these storms, but look how it's different. This is what actually happened in comparison to the forecast. You can see those greens, those green little thin lines appear on like over Houston. That's their 6-degree lapse rates. And if you're wondering, if you're like, golly, this dude will not stop saying the freaking lapse rates. Like what is he on about? Oh, let me get this ready here. Why does he keep on saying this dang lapse rates? Like seriously, bro, I don't know what that means. Well, you're in luck. So when we have a lot of shear, or a decent amount of shear, somewhat directional, down here a little bit further to the south, you know, it is less directional. But you know, we have potential for rotating thunderstorms, but you need the storm to be the updraft. So if you take off these little white particles, those are the updraft there. And so this right here is the temperature profile of the air right where these storms are. And if I try to launch a parcel, make that just a little bit higher, you can see it rises, but not super fast or super effectively. It rises really slow and it just can't quite, you know, form into a mature storm. It can't quite lift up into some of that stronger shear. So either you get a merger and it briefly allows the particles to rise up into the shear, or our water molecules, allowing our storm to grow, or you know, we stay in this, you know, low lapse rate regimen where we're just not really seeing much mature thunderstorms. And again, what causes these lapse rates is this is the profile, right? Temperature profile. See, down here are some redder colors. Those are the warmer color or warmer air. And then above the atmosphere, you have these cooler temperatures, these green colors, right? And so, you know, the more stable or the less the lapse rates, the more uniform this profile is. But if I go to super unstable, you can see that, you know, down near the surface is warm air, and then up at the top is very cool air. And so when I launch this and probably the highest lapse rates you can possibly get, you can see those water molecules shoot up. The updraft gets very strong, and then that would you know, that would push up into the shear, and then we'd really start to see a decent amount of rotation with the profile that we have right now. But as you can see, these storms are struggling because those little air molecules really can't go that far up into our storm, and really can't push up our storm, and our updraft really can't push up into that stronger shear environment right now, because we're starting to lack mergers. Starting to lack mergers, and our surface temperatures are actually cooling down a little bit because of all this rain. And so we have multiple things now becoming what do we call hindrance to these storms. Did anybody get that? Did anybody understand that? That probably couldn't have understood that if I just said it. Did that help? Because I'm gonna make a lot more of those. We're gonna make it for surface-based cape. We're gonna make it for capping inversions. We're gonna have the whole shebang. I'll probably release a new one each video. I don't know why, but my voice is like already struggling. Probably because we haven't live streamed in like 2 months. But I'm gonna go outside really quick since our tornado warning has expired. I'm gonna go outside and get my food that's been sitting out there for 40 minutes. Food acquired. Mississippi right now has a better environment. Not really, no. No, the best environment. Oh, Chazzy. Okay, mamas? Did you get your fingernail caught on something? I'm sure. I'm sure. Gotta be careful. Sorry about that. Yeah, Mississippi doesn't, like, in terms of right now, does not have the better environment. They don't have, there's like barely any shear in Mississippi right now. There's zero shear in Mississippi. Residents saw the tornado touch the ground and move off quickly. Yeah. Yeah, no, we saw it from the camera as well. Looks like we actually got a little mini supercell forming down here near Mayfair. Hasn't quite organized, but it looks like mergers are starting to develop maybe on the southern side of this. Keeping a close eye on this storm. Now entering into southern Houston. That rain is definitely going to be stronger. Let me see if I can find a camera in that area, if we have one. In South Houston. I know there's one near there. I just don't know how close. There's one down here. I don't think this one will be able to see it. Yeah, it's too far. Too far away. I'm gonna hide my camera while I eat, guys. So I'm disappearing, but I'm still here. I gotta remember to turn that off when I'm not using it. Welcome back. Welcome back. Tomorrow could be interesting in Alabama. It could be. Yeah. We're going to be watching for the same things. There's going to be, still a decent amount of forcing that's going to cause some, most likely, convection a little earlier in the morning. So we're still going to be watching for similar lapse rates issues. Also going to be watching, how directional the shear is. The shear should be more parallel tomorrow. So, turn this back on really quick. Which again, more parallel shear. If you got, more parallel, the wind vectors are going kind of in the same direction. See how they're kind of going in the same direction there. Though that tends, I wonder what this looks like from above. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. That's crazy. Yeah, you can see more directional shear. Usually, you have less rotations in storms. See, as they go more perpendicular, a lot more rotation, more unidirectional, a lot less. So shouldn't be as big of a deal tomorrow, but there's still probably going to be a chance. We got to monitor the models for shortwave troughs. If we get a shortwave come through there, we could definitely see more perpendicular flow. Houston has a storm right now. We are monitoring it at the moment. Not concerned about it, but monitoring it. This is that storm in southern Houston going towards Galena Park. These storms further up north have completely fizzled, by the way. So we are in that wait and see, which is what we were expecting today. We were expecting brief spurts of tornadic activity throughout the day as either storms go through mergers or the lapse rates increase. But our lapse rates are doing the opposite of increase right now. So I'm still hopeful that today's going to be a pretty quiet day, relatively speaking, if you are like to compare it to a day that had these similar parameters, but with just better lapse rates. Look, okay, yeah, everybody's okay right now. There's no storm on the radar that is concerning me right now. Not a single one. Not even for a severe weather threat. We do have a lot of rain happening over here near Longview. Probably a decent amount of thunderstorm activity out here, but tornado chances up here are 0. But definitely a lot of heavy rain and lightning happening. Our main corridor is down here, but we're in a little bit of a break period here. Jeez. I have queso for my tacos, and it's coming out as like a sheet of cheese. Not very gooey. No reports of injuries so far. Lots of shingles and a couple roofs torn open. Trees uprooted. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can find photos, because I am curious on how strong that tornado was. Sorry, help. I missed your messages. I didn't have. I usually have your messages DMs open. All right. What was I gonna do? Stuff. All right. Tornado, Texas. Let me see what I can find. Oh wow. This is actually a lot more condensed than I previously thought. Look at this. Just found this. This is from Spark Service. Oh wait, I can show this. This is Spark Service. I think I can. Oh wait, never mind. G more. And if it's shared, I don't know. And I'm gonna show it, or maybe I shouldn't. But I can show Spark Service, but so I'm thinking that they got this sent into them, but I'm not sure, so I'm not gonna show it. I thought I could, but then I read it a little bit more. Let's see. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of videos of the tornado. Okay, we do have some damage. Here's some damage. Unfortunately, out of the area, some trees down. Oh wow, tree down near a house, maybe even on the house a little bit. Yeah, looks like side of a house partially destroyed. Yeah, lots of trees down due to this tornado. But I mean, those are some pretty well-built houses, and it looks like they survived okay. So it doesn't appear like a strong tornado. Keeping an eye on it though. Keeping an eye on those damage reports. Hey guys, no pre-rating tornadoes in chat, please. Hearing apologies from the TV news. They were late to the storm. How? How are they late to the storm? Isn't that like their one job, to show up on time for the one tornado warning in their tiny little area? Your cat hates you. Aw. What was the Twitter? I think I still have the, yeah, this is the Twitter right here. The rain is going up. It is going up. There's plenty of rain with this storm. That is for sure. Definitely watching out for some flooding threats. Yeah, our tornado threat has evaporated. I'm not seeing one storm still. It very well could come back. Just depends. Really just waiting to see if another one of these storms can become mature. Cassie, I can't give you none of the steak. It's seasoned. Maybe I can wash one off, but not right now. Back. No seasoned steak for you. That'll send your stomach into a fit. Your stomach gonna be growling more than you. And there's nothing better than street tacos. I don't care what anybody else says. Like when you're really hungry and you eat a street taco, I mean, come on. Where'd my salsa go? Chaz, did you eat my salsa? Oh, never mind, I found it. Sorry. Poor Chaz. He's used to it. He knows the drill. DMs. Oh, let me check. The environment support that. Wrap around it, not seeing anything. Yeah. No, I don't think a tornado hotspot per se, but I mean, we might be able to get another tornado out of that region for sure. Mini cells near Oakdale. The environment support. I don't think the shear. Yeah, the shear really isn't pushing into that area yet. And thermodynamically speaking, yeah, I mean, our lapse rates are more near like Baton Rouge that would support that. There's kind of a lack of lapse, little lack of lapse in this area. Yeah, tornado threat's taking a little bit of a break, folks. It could come back. We're just waiting to see if any of these storms are going to mature. Not seeing any indication that our tornado threat is ramping back up yet. So we're taking a little food break. I'm still here, but I'm eating, and we're just watching the broad scale view right now until something else happens. It is very possible that that could be the only tornado of the day, but it's also possible that we see something else develop and mergers happen. I think we're mainly, probably for the next 6 hours, relying on mergers alone. Woodland, Texas. Where's Woodland? Is that the Woodlands? Or is there like another Woodland in Texas? No, yeah. You know, Woodland, Texas is chill right now. You guys are chilling quite like a villain. Still a little supercell, a little mini supercell out over here near Jacinto City and Galena Park, but it is not maturing yet. Just wanted to come in there and check on that one. That's the only cell I'm really keeping an eye on. We do have some cells trying to develop out here. If they can get mature and we start to see some more mergers, then we could potentially see something there. But none of these storms are sitting in decent lapse rates. So we are running into the problem we typically see with these kind of events, which is great news for the folks underneath it. Yeah, this is a good video right here. Best video I've seen so far. I'm not tormenting him. He's tormenting himself. He's giving himself false hope. Honestly, I'm one of the only reasons I'm not panicking. You're very calm. Yes, that is the whole point of this stream. We're not here for like, you know, like, honestly, I can tell you all the tactics. I know all the tactics. I could be sitting here being like, although there's no tornado threat right now, it's definitely going to ramp back up later tonight. So everybody still be shitting bricks out there. Make sure you're not stopping shitting those bricks. Eat some more concrete and continue to shit them bricks. Probably should have used the word crap there, but you get the message. I could be doing that, but the environment is just not. It's honestly, I'm chill right now because we can be. Because I'm actually forecasting the storm in real time. If I were to ignore that, you know, I could make up any kind of narrative. So, well, I'm just not into that kind of fear mongering stuff. If it's chill, we chill. People are gonna leave, but I don't care. I have decided I just much rather, you know, be honest and be less popular. I'm not trying to win some popularity contest. I just want to develop a channel where, you know, people know that they can rely on me when stuff gets, you know, intense out there, and when it's not, then, you know, they can also rely that I'm not going to be, you know, causing a fuss for no reason. That's what actual honesty and reliability is. Not the fake honesty and reliability everybody touts that they have, but never practices. Stop with the RH thing, but relative humidity. Weather is perfect in Florida. Thank you for reporting. I'm jealous. Do you live near the beach? Always look for your lives. Yeah, I try to go live for everything. Sometimes tornado warnings pop up when I'm not home on days where the risk is pretty minimal and I just can't make to that. But if I'm at my office, I always go live, even if it's just like random. I try to be as reliable as possible, but I can't always be there, especially like if there's like not a forecasted like midnight threat. Like I'm asleep. I also can't go live when I'm asleep. We have 0 tornado warnings because you're in Ohio. Are you flexing on Texas right now? What are you doing? Oh yeah, well I live in Alabama. We don't have any tornado threat. Or today. We don't have any tornado threat today. Ha! Relative humidity weather. Yeah. relative humidity is a weather concept. That was a joke, by the way. If you just tuned in, somebody in chat was saying they didn't have any tornado warnings in Ohio. Sorry. Which is accurate. You're so darn good at looking so cute. You're lucky I have an ounce of discipline. Or you would be like only liquid poop. Because I would feed you everything. I once heard of a lady, I talked to this lady that used to give her dog Coca-Cola instead of water. Oh, Ryan, what about him? That's what you meant by our age. I'm making you hungry. Hey, I'd rather you be hungry than scared. Let me go check back in on these storms again. Yeah, still a little mini supercell out here. Still not seeing anything that's really concerning me yet, but I'm still keeping an eye on it. Yeah, everything else, not really seeing any rotation. This is the area that Help was talking about, all these little mini supercells. They are in some really bad lapse rates. Our lapse rates are like really over here near Lafayette, Baton Rouge, 6 lapse rates here. Barely any instability, I think, these storms. Yeah. But just enough on the southern side. But our forcing is a little bit removed from this area, and there's really not a whole lot of shear whatsoever out over here. But eventually that shear will move in. So it'll be interesting to see how these storms react when that shear does come. Let me check to see if I have any other storm chasers live. I haven't really checked. Carbon live? He's not. What about Zach the storm chaser? John's live. Nice. I love John McKinney. No, Zach is not live. Ah. We got Tornado Pagey. Her view is looking pretty interesting. We got a little updraft on the right side of the screen. Let's go listen in, see what they're chatting about. They're really smart. They usually just repeat what I say without even listening to the stream. That's why they're always close to a tornado. Wonder where they're going. Yeah, it looks like they're traveling east. Dark to the left. Yeah, there's not really much by them. Some weak little updrafts. You see on the radar on the bottom right. PDS bumper to bumper. Nice little view. Oncoming drizzle of rain likely. Oh yeah. Our drizzle con is at a 10 today. Get it? Instead of a tour con. That was dumb. I know. Probably no one laughed at that. I tried. Yeah, the line has definitely developed. If we come back over to here, we have an area of some heavy rain back over here. The instability is near zero up here, so I'm not concerned about a tornado threat. But some heavy rain and some lightning is certainly possible over here near Tyler, Texas. Also over near Texarkana, eventually coming into Shreveport. He chuckled a bit. Yeah, flooding. Yeah, flooding's going to be a problem up there. Let me get my flood warnings up here on Radar Mega. I know we have flood warnings, so let's go talk about them. There we go. Weather alerts. Boom. And let me make sure. That. Are there not any flood warnings right now? Flood watch. Not popping up on here. I don't know why. Yeah, it says it's on. Let me take off this. Maybe I'll be able to see it better if we take off the severe weather overlay. They're not popping up on here. I don't know what's up with that. Let me do a refresh. It's just a big old flood watch, but I mean, my warning program says there is a flood warning. I don't know what's up with that. Maybe those are like expired. Come check back in with this guy. Oh, wow, look at this little outflow boundary developing here near Cloverleaf. You're laying down. Nice. You want food, but you don't want to get up. Oh, I feel that. Your first mistake was laying down. Your second mistake was getting hungry. Tornado definitely took off a couple roofs in the Klein area. Okay. That could be an indication of some stronger damage. Let me see if I can find any photos of that. Yeah, all I've seen is some tree damage. Keep seeing the same thing reposted over and over. Video here. Oh, Reed Timmer posted a video of the damage. Or at least the response to the damage in a tree down. Yeah, I haven't seen any indication that it could be a strong tornado, but I mean, if there's roofs that have been torn off, then, you know, that would indicate a stronger tornado at least. We can't rate it, but if it's like shingle damage, then probably on the weaker side of things. Is Babyhead in the risk? It's a good question. I always forget where Babyhead, Texas is. Nope, that's not it. There's a Babyhead Road somewhere in San Antonio. Anybody here in chat live on Babyhead Road? I don't think weather-wise has baby head. There's a baby. Oh, there's a bay head. Is this it? Yeah, there it is. No, baby head, Texas is not in the tornado risk today. I was gonna look after our friends, I guess. I wouldn't even call them friends in Baby Head, Texas. If you live in Baby Head, Texas, knowing the history behind it, definitely a little suspicious. That's what we'll say. Yeah, still nothing concerning on radar here in the southern portion. I do want to check a little bit further north. Yeah, not seeing anything overly concerning. Oh, wow. It's like, this is exactly what a dying thunderstorm looks like. Look at that.
Yeah, the Mamada's coming off the top there. Beautiful.
You see, there's like no base to the storm, but there's still rain falling out of it. Is either like the very beginnings of a thunderstorm or the death of one.
There you can probably see over this bridge.
Didn't we have a discussion a while back about Baby Head? Yes. I told you guys not to search the history of Baby Head, Texas, and you guys did anyways. And learned the hard way on why not to search Baby Head, Texas.
Hello, ST Hazard. Hello.
And you guys are probably in the process of doing the exact same mistake as we speak. That is 100% happening. Reverse psychology by accident? I guess. Reverse psychology only works on people that have oppositional defiance disorder or are overly curious, dangerously curious in that aspect. Very weak rotation. Yeah, super weak. Almost non-existent. So not concerned about that area yet. We love to learn here. Don't love to learn those facts. I will say, some sentences promote reverse psychology more than others. Like if I said, don't research what happened in Bay City, you might research it, but you might not. It's just a regular sounding name of a city. But when you say don't research what's happening in Baby Head, Texas, it's like the levels of curiosity go like sky high. Like if you were to make a YouTube video that said, I regret looking up what happened in Baby Head, Texas, you would probably get like, that'd probably be one of those random videos that gets like 1 million views on YouTube because the amount of curiosity just from that one sentence is too much. It's too much to handle. a slight swirl. Yes, we have a slight swirl over here, south and west of Sheldon. The definition of a mini supercell or a baby supercell. Don't research what happened on May 3rd, 1999 in a small Oklahoma town. All right, I must find out. I must know. I must know. Is it the Catoosa, Oklahoma tornado? Is that it? Don't research that random day in Alabama. Oh, okay. Oh, we got another great view of what appears to be a dying thunderstorm. Look at that. It's basically just rain with barely any cloud. It's basically all downdraft. RIP the Farmer's Almanac. I mean, nobody really looked at it anyways. Baton Rouge is good for now, but we are monitoring for. Jeez. We do have a couple of cells trying to develop out here. They're not going to really do much now, but as this part of the storm approaches, we're going to be monitoring the environment out here. If the lapse rates do increase across the board and we get some more shear in the area, we could see some tornadic activity be possible as we go into later tonight. But a lot of things got to go right for that to happen. How's the Belleville storm out near College Station? There is a storm approaching College Station. Our line of storms has formed all the way down to the south here. Not seeing any rotation or any dangerous tornadic activity out here, but we do have a lot of rain coming for College Station and Brenham right now. Thank you, Caitlin, for the $2. Thank you, thank you. In Doghead, Oregon? No. Is that a real place? I don't think that's a real place. Finally, some answers? Absolutely. We could have a significant wind threat tonight. I don't think so. It just depends on, well, lapse rates are important for wind threats. You know, you need strong updrafts or stronger updrafts to get those stronger downdrafts. Does Huntsville, Texas look okay? Let me see. Huntsville. I think it's like, it isn't Huntsville near College Station? Yeah, it is. Yeah. I'm right now looking over the environment in this area. There actually is a decent amount of instability here. Surface base Cape is decent. The lower level lapse rates are really low out here. These storms should struggle, although this is more along the frontal boundary here. So, you know, we could make an argument that, you know, the forcing from that might help these storms a little bit, but they're definitely going to struggle to be tornadic. I wouldn't say it's like 100% 0%. I would put it more around like a 1 to 2% chance for tornadoes. I'm more worried about the potential for some damaging winds near College Station, Navasota, Madison, and Huntsville later on as that line moves through. There's likely not going to be a tornado in Tyler, Texas. No. There's just really no argument that you can formulate to convince me of that point. There's no good lapse rates, no good surface based cape. There's a decent amount of shear up there, but a lot of that shear is not very favorable when you have such low lapse rates and like 0 cape. We're not talking about like 1 or 2 cape. We're not talking about 100 cape. We're talking about 0 cape, which is the buoyancy in the air. The air is not buoyant enough to support tornadic activity, but it is enough to support some rain and thunderstorms out there. And that is about to move through Tyler, Texas. And once that is done, you guys should be good for the rest of the day. You guys that are in a tornado watch up here in Needville, but I think it's a pretty darn low chance. I think it's a pretty darn low chance right now. A sloppy mess. Yeah, this is the definition of a slop fest. That was my thumbnail this morning, but I changed it because apparently that's not a clickable title. I don't think anybody knew what I was talking about. Like slop fest. What is that in relation to? Could that be? That could be storms. That could be talking about AI slop. That could be talking about anything. It's always good to at least, you know, let people know in the title what you're talking about. I changed it up to new info, and the title I think now is a very detailed breakdown on our tornado threat. This is just a chill stream for now. Yep. It sure is. And trying to be discreet. It is trying, but it is failing at the moment because of the lapse in our lapse rates. I think they're actually yeah, they're approaching the storm that was in Houston. This is what that storm that was in Houston looks like. It also looks a little scraggly. Like 6 to 7 p.m. For what? Did I miss your first message? Oh, am I ready to go for the nocturnal threat? I mean, the nocturnal threat relies on a lot of things to happen. So, I mean, it may or may not happen. Like, I think people are looking at the new NATO cast and thinking that 10% hatched risk on the NATO cast means anything, but it really doesn't.
Well, friends, that's what's left of it. They're looking at it.
What really matters is what happens between now and then. Because all NATO cast isn't super helpful the day of. It's good for forecasting, but when things change rapidly during the day, a lot of times our mesoscale models don't change fast enough, and it uses those parameters to determine the tornado risk. So if the mesoscale models are consistently wrong, it will overestimate the storm. And they've been wrong they haven't really been too wrong. I mean, I will say the lapse rates are, they never even tried to show up today. I guess there was 1 hour where we thought the lapse rates were increasing. But yeah, so, you know, one thing to note here is out over to the east of Houston, there is some sun poking out here. Some sun. So those are the things we got to monitor. You know, we're gonna get any more surface heating. Because the thing is, that sun is about to set pretty quickly out here, and our thermodynamics are about to crash out. So it's really not going to be too favorable during the nighttime. Even our RAP analysis is saying that by the time we get to about 2 to 4 hours from now, the lapse rates in Louisiana are going to be under 5. Under 5, which is not favorable at all for tornadic activity. Really? Was that the whole reason of typing that message, was to get people in chat to say 6-7? Really? Every time I see that, my favorite thing to say is to be like, people are dang. The only people that are obsessed about the 6-7 don't have a 9 to 5. Yeah, no problem, Temple of Brutus. Thank you for tuning in. Now, there's probably not going to be a tornado. We put the tornado chances in Tyler near 0. Yeah, near 0. About as close to 0 as you can get. Not favorable for tornadoes in Louisiana later on today. Like, really, 4 hours from now, we're talking about 7 p.m. The forcing still hasn't arisen, and our lapse rates absolutely crash out, according to our latest RAP analysis. Well, I mean, that's the thing, Turk. The whole point of 6-7 was so that they could laugh at you for struggling to understand it when it means nothing. Back in my day, we had 69. At least that meant something. You know what I'm saying? What up, Storm Nerds? What up? No, don't Google that one. They'll be low tonight. At least according to our latest RAP analysis, we are watching for changes of that. But again, one of the things that's happening right now, we've got a lot of cloud coverage over here. And you would really need to see this clear out within the next hour to see those lapse rates improve at all. But even as we go into the nighttime hours, you're going to have those temperatures near the surface start to cool down quite a bit. And it's going to be really hard to get those lapse rates to go back up unless we have a lot more of an organized low pressure system, which at this point we do not have. In fact, from today going into tomorrow, our low pressure system will be getting weaker and weaker. So this is about as strong as our low pressure system will be, and then it will move off to the north and east, and eventually we will see the severe weather threat get harder and harder to produce tornadoes. Unless we get a shortwave tomorrow, or a shortwave at some point would help the severe threat. Yeah, we had 669. We had 420. Y'all missed the prime number generation by about 10 years. That the whole line will be outflow dominant. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not really concerned about the lines. Where it intersects on the warm front is like the only area that we have to be watching. And our warm front is really like right here near College Station. And as you can see, our storms aren't really doing too great over here. Doesn't really seem to be doing much. Kind of a weak warm front too, to be honest. Pretty diffuse. Hasn't really risen up to the north. It's a little bit stationary right now. Like according to some models, you know, a couple days ago, our instability should have at least made it up to like Jacksonville. There were some models saying it would make it up all the way to Tyler, Texas, but our instability is still hanging out like right around in this area. Maybe a little bit like this. And it kind of goes up like that. and then it kind of goes down like that, where our 1,000 joules per kilogram is. So that plus the low lapse rates, you're not gonna really see anything pop off too much here in the short term. But again, you know, that could change. We shall see. I wonder, like, in the future, when that generation that says 6-7 a lot, like, you know, within the next 10 years, they'll completely forget about it unless it pops up in like a nostalgia thread online. They'll completely forget about 6-7 and until they probably turn 67 years old. And then I wonder if they'll be like, 6-7. Can you imagine your grandpa doing that? Who knows? Maybe by that time, there'll be a new cool number to say. Wonder what that number will be. Given the pattern recognition, the first funny number was 69. The second one was 67, which means the next one, logically speaking, should be 65. Oh, yeah. On the calculator. Yeah. That was funny. You don't talk like that? Oh, yeah. Yours. Okay. Fine. I guess it's more like 80 years old when you start talking like that. People are living, I think, older now. Hopefully. That's still a trend. Is that still the trend? Oh, sorry to hear that, Jared. R.I.P. That doesn't work. It really doesn't. That is a true statement. Logic is probably one of the worst things to practice in today's age. There's a lot of illogic happening right now. Not gonna be indoor malls. Listen, you're like, the younger generation from like 10 years old to about my age. If you don't have like a career in construction, or if you like can't do surgery. Let me think, what else? Or you're a politician, maybe. Your future's absolutely cooked. It's over. And I don't know if I feel bad for you guys yet. Because I don't know if that's what you guys want or not. Because the future is AI driven. So there's not going to be any jobs available. They're already replacing jobs right now. But they keep on talking about that there's going to be UBI. So if you're, you know, within that age range, for me, that makes me, I would really hate that because I like the upward movement in society, but that could just be like a dying thing. Maybe people would just be okay. The younger generation would just be okay with, you know, having UBI, $3,000 a month, which really isn't that much. Hopefully it's that high. Shoot, they might even go lower. Who knows? But like, are you guys okay with that? Like, you know, getting just like a set amount a month. There's no jobs and you just kind of sit at home all day, every day. You get to go out and see friends if they still even go out and see each other, if they're not already dating a robot. No robot can do my job. That's why I'm getting better at golf. That's my backup plan. No one's gonna watch robots play golf over humans. It's just not happening. I am curious. I always have to check. See how close AI is to taking my job. I always go and check out YallBot.
Pliers from the
Let's see here. YallBot currently has 400 people watching. YallBot has more viewers than me. Gosh dang it. Every time. Not even better than YallBot. You know what? I just thought of an idea.
those first responders
This could be entertaining. I think you guys will like it. It's a good idea, I think. I come up with them every now and then. I think you guys will like it. Yeah. Don't want that. What I want to do is that. There we go. Now you guys can constantly monitor my AI takeover or YallBot's AI takeover. That number ever gets higher than ours, we must fight back. We must fight back. Spread the word every time that gets bigger than my stream. I don't care about anybody else's stream, but I'll be danged if YallBot ever gets more viewers than me. We are losing. Yes, we are. Fight back against the AI weather overlord. It's winning. And there is nothing to talk about. There's not a severe thunderstorm. There's rain. So watch out there in Palestine for some rain. Centerville for some rain. Madisonville for some rain. Tyler, Texas for some rain. There's a lot of rain up here. Definitely would watch out for a flood threat. What did you miss? On the top right, we now have the YallBot viewer count. It is an AI weather forecaster and nowcaster. And I am just not going to accept the defeat. I will not let a robot win. So whenever that number up there is higher than the amount of viewers we have, we got to start sharing the stream. I don't think Max's channel is AI, is it? I don't think it is. His second channel? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to leave that up all stream. We'll have it. I'll have it in the background though. We'll check on it from time to time. He gave in. Did he really? Do we have a max bot now too? Max second channel is Radar Omega Loops. Oh, okay. Alrighty then. We have a new mesoscale analysis. Yes, we do. All right, we got a new lapse rate. So over here into near Baton Rouge still, maybe a little bit further west, closer to like Lafayette. We have 6-degree lapse rates now showing up out over here, but we are missing forcing. There's our forcing over there in Louisiana. Don't have any there, so we're not going to see any mature supercells. This pink is where the forcing is. It's where our upper level wind pattern creates a void, forcing that air up. I'm going to have to make a I'm going to make little simulations for all of this stuff. 800 millibar pattern has not shown up into that area yet. So yeah, likely won't see that really do anything, but the lapse rates are up over there. That was, I think, on par with the forecast. It's supposed to go up a little bit and then tank. Yeah, it goes up. Yeah, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit higher than what was forecasted there. And then, yeah, over the next 2 hours, it's supposed to really start to tank. Forcing, yeah, upper level divergence. Yeah, so like up in the what happened to otherwise? So up in the 300 millibar range, gets spreading part of the wind vectors, basically creates a void in between, forcing air to rise. And yeah, that's where you get the forcing for cold fronts, or not cold fronts, but for like prefrontal storms. I mean, I don't know. Should I even be live right now, or should we just take a break? I mean, there's nothing to do. All we're doing is farting around. We're not really doing anything right now, other than monitoring the atmosphere, I guess. Chill, stream, and play games. I'm not gonna play games. I'd rather relax. Let's see what Pagey's talking about. I'll always like to hear their meteorological advice. They're pretty smart. No, if we were to play a game, it'd be Arc Raiders. That game is fun. It's brought me briefly back into the gaming world because my friends begged me for a literal week. They're not saying anything, guys. It's usually a good sign. Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna change, it's gonna take some time. I keep looking back down at these storms, but they're just not in a very thermodynamically favorable environment. But we could maybe get some mergers and see that change. Maybe. but it's going to take a while for these storms to mature and do that process. So I'll take a little break, and then we'll be back on later. Hold on. One more check-in. How? No. Guys, don't let AI win. It has 20 more viewers than us. Don't let it win, guys. Don't let us be conquered by AI. I like this job. But all right, I'm gonna take a little break, and I'll be back on if this will be the deal. If I start to see some things come into place, we'll come back on. And if I start to see those lapse rates rise and it really starts to look like things are about to pop off again, I'll come back on before the next tornado warning. Let's raid Pagey. Or I'm gonna send you to our favorite babysitter, Pagey Tornado. Why is their channel not? Did they end their stream? Not popping up. Hold on. Let me do the manual way. There it is. All right. Send you over to our favorite babysitter, Pagey, and then I'll be back on if I start to see evidence that our environment is getting a little bit more spicy again. So I will see you guys then. Hopefully you don't see me again tonight. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Let's hope. But yeah, see y'all later. I'll be back on if need be. Peace.